ABC Sport, Joel Peterson is my name. Calling the action alongside me today is Andrew Mays. Welcome to season 2026, Maisie.
Great to be back. Very much looking forward to this afternoon. I remember 12 months ago checking my phone and tuning in and flicking on the TV. I had other matters to attend to. But it was one of the weirdest games between these two clubs. Checking in, seeing that Geelong were flying and then Fremantle were coming back, and then watching the Murphy Reid highlights at about three-quarter time of his absolute purple patch. As good a 10 minutes of footy as you'll ever see when he was on debut, of course. So, there's big things coming for him this year. I know he's been spoken a lot about in the pre-season, and looking forward to seeing both teams. And Geelong, interestingly, needing to bounce back.
Indeed. Murphy Reid, 4 goals in 7 minutes in the corresponding match last year. The Cats won that by 78 points. The Dockers had won the previous 2 games here. Between these two teams, our experts this afternoon are in place. The AFL Games record holder, Brent Harvey. Boomer, good afternoon.
Yes, good to be here. Round 1, this is what it's all about. Don't worry about round 0, gather round. Not gather round, what do they call it? 0 round? What is it?
Opening round.
Opening round, same thing. Who cares? Get rid of it. Get rid of it all, and let's just play round 1 where every single team plays in the same weekend. But it's looking beautiful. Good weather. I'm actually looking forward to watching Fremantle and the maturity of their... I was just speaking off air about their forwards. You know, Tracy looks like a man mountain out there. He's absolutely huge and a mess. Voss, can they kick a big enough score, those big boys up forward? So really looking to see what Fremantle dish up today.
Absolutely. Former Eagle, former Swan. It's Cal Sinclair is with us. Cal, good to have you here.
Need to work on the intro. I haven't got quite the accolades of Brent Harvey, but we'll get there. Not the easiest start to round 1. Petrol prices coming down the highway and the car parking situation, which completely rattled me. But equally to you, Brent, I'm really excited to watch Freo, how they attack the... coming down to the Catteries hard. Doesn't matter who you are, but from Perth, it's just that extra sting, the extra little bit of travel from the Tullamarine. But I couldn't agree more. I'm a big fan of Tracy up forward. Luke Daxon and Sean Darcy. I'm very interested to see how Sean Darcy actually plays with the new ruck rules today. Starting him on the bench, I'll probably see. So it'll be interesting to see how they ease into it. But Dangerfield and Cameron, great to have them back in the mix, and I think that really hurt them last week.
Mitch Edwards on debut for the Cats, so a former Fremantle Next Generation Academy member plays his first game for Geelong this afternoon. The captain's about to meet in the middle, Patrick Dangerfield and Alex Pearce. Justin Longmuir has spoken about the fact that he does feel it's an advantage playing a team that played in opening round. What kind of response do you expect from the Cats today, Cal?
Last week was an interesting game. I wouldn't say they didn't show up, but... the Gold Coast, it just felt like they completely arrived. They probably got a little bit rattled. Their 2 most valuable players weren't out there last week. Not an excuse. It's not panic stations for Geelong, particularly, it's not even round 1. It was round 0. But 2 injections of those 2 quality players of Dangerfield and Cameron, I think, Freo are going to have the work cut out for them. But there'll be a response.
The big thing, you don't see Geelong lose by 10 goals. That's the thing. We haven't seen it for, 20 years maybe.
It was the 7th heaviest defeat in Chris Scott's time, and this is his 16th season.
16th year. So that's it's huge. They bounce back, no doubt about that. And this ground certainly helps how narrow it is, and we'll see a few balls get kicked on the full today, no doubt. It's just whether Fremantle can serve up what they did last year on the back of, Maisie, you said, Murphy Reid. Well, he's not on debut now, and he's a much better player than he was on that day, so hopefully he can kick a few as well.
The Rising Star winner, of course, from last season. So much to like about what this Freo team brings to the table. A bit of a new-look midfield this year with Luke Jackson operating in that on-ball brigade, and big Mitch Edwards is going to stride into the centre to take the opening ruck contest for Geelong as well. Which way do you reckon this one falls, Cal?
I think Freo, I think they've arrived. I think Geelong... not quite there probably to the standard they were last week, but I think it's a big year for Freo, and I think it's theirs to win today.
Boomer?
I think it's a statement game. I think if Fremantle can beat Geelong in Geelong, I think everybody in the whole competition, which they probably already do, but they will look at them and just go, rightio, this is going to be a team to beat.
Could be the day the Dockers really arrive. They've got big expectations, so do the Cats. They're underway at Kardinia Park. Here's Andrew Mays.
And Jackson was the first to win out of the ruck, only as far as Holmes into Edwards, whose hand pass was knocked down. He followed up with a big tackle as well. And Bailey Smith receives the free. Smith, short, very short, into the middle. Martin takes it, was looking for the short hand pass. Nothing presented. His kick is smothered. Didn't quite make it to the 50. Manor has to go back to Martin. Turns it over by hand. Now bolters away. Takes one bounce through the middle. Looking for support. It's there through Voss. Goes out wide. It's a Clark. Clark inside 50. Amos not quite. Punched away from him. O'Sullivan's got work to do at ground level. He's taken in a strong tackle. Umpire says, I'll have it. Forward pocket. Ball up. Opening stages of this first term.
That's what I see Fremantle doing for a lot of the day. Speed on ball, getting into a 1-on-1 or a 2v2.
Hot start, fast start. Dangerfield and Cameron both starting deep forward for the Cats. Brayshaw at the stoppage. Wheels away in the pocket. Tried to dribble it toward goal. O'Sullivan was back there for the Cats and rushes through the first score of the game. The first score of the Dockers season is a minor one. Max Holmes wastes no time bringing it back in.
Up towards the wing from behind. MC flew, couldn't grab it. Johnson stood tall in front of him. Short hand pass is okay to McVee inside 50, overcooks the kick into the pocket. It's through a couple of sets of hands and over for a boundary throw in about 30 around from the Fremantle goal.
Just feel like they're taking opportunities to go quick, even though it's early in the game. They're hitting that handball as fast as possible. Probably something they learned from last week when Gold Coast completely outrun them, particularly in the middle of the ground.
Judd McVee's first game today as a Docker after crossing from the D's. Jackson was behind him. Guthrie now. Short little hand pass is good. He finds Smith and the outlet is good. It's Blitzarves.
Blitzarves now nearing on game 300. That'll be a last touch out of bounds kick as it skews off the instep. Corey Wagner to take it in front of the interchange. Nathan O'Driscoll, Carl Warner both getting some treatment as they await their turn to come into the action. Wagner drops a high footy inside the forward 50. Jackson reaching up, can't take it. Sarong does the roving inside the forward 50. Paddles it to the pocket, kept it in front of Atkins. Hooks his kick back toward the top of the goal square. Voss fights for it. Bolton takes it at ground level. A spin, a swivel, a snap and a great goal. Shea Bolton gets the Dockers on the board. 1-1-7. Cats yet to score. 2.5 played opening term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Your experts are Boomer Harvey and Cal Sinclair.
Well, they've actually had some opportunities, the Fremantle Dockers. McVee's kick earlier on, that's just got a hit for an AFL football. That's a 25-metre short pass. They've had 3 times. They should have marked the ball, the Fremantle Dockers, but that was an excellent goal. That's a great finish. Sarong on the boundary. Gee, that was good, wasn't it? Just kept the ball and everyone else thought it was going to go out. Centred the ball, put it in the hot spot, and classy finish by Bolton.
Well, they're just first the footy at the moment, but particularly on the ground ball. And Sarong's effort there, I actually watched Geelong's, defensive setup. They had about 10 guys boundary side, and the balance of, how they approached that goal, Freo completely spread over that forward half. And to be honest, Jai Bolton had 3 or 4 handballs he could have given, but did the old U-turn.
Big one-on-one win against Atkins for Sarong now. Back in the middle, Jackson won it down outside the stoppage. He goes again, ricochets off a couple of feet towards the wing. Picked up there by Erasmus. He gets it on to Sarong, who goes inside 50. No mark taken on this occasion. Erasmus follows up. Oh, lovely little dummy. Bought himself a bit of space on the left. Brings it back, not quite enough. One behind. Fremantle looking very threatening opening stages. 1-2. The Cats yet to score. We've played 3.5 minutes.
Looks good, Neil Erasmus. He's been starved of opportunities in recent seasons. Former number 10 pick, just game number 40. Now his 4th season on the list. Smith inside defensive 50 for the Cats in front of the scoreboard. In the right back pocket, pokes it along the boundary line. Measured it nicely in the end. Martin, infield to Manor. Not sure what Jack Martin's going to do this year with no sub-rule. That was sort of the niche that he carved out for himself. Manor's kick was measured beautifully to Holmes. AFL logo out of side. Loops the handball over the top to Martin. Now to Dempsey. Right half forward for Geelong. Attacking to the city end. Dempsey comes back by hand to Martin. On to close. Inside the 50. Smith kicks an absolute sack onto the chest of Cameron. It flew like a dead pigeon. It didn't worry Jezza, who marks 25 out. And he will come around the corner and try and open his account off the back of 88 last season. Jeremy Cameron's got his first of the new campaign. And Geelong narrow the gap to just 2 points. 4 played opening term. The Dockers 1-2. The Cats 1 straight.
Well, that's 1 inside 50 for 1 goal for the Cats, so Fremantle will be very disappointed. But the way that unfolded, Cal, was we know the way Fremantle are going to play defensively now. They pressed off the player very, very aggressively, and Geelong overlapped the whole length of the ground pretty much. And you're right, it wasn't a great kick going in. the money kick, was it, to Cameron? But
it was a 5-cent money kick, Boomer.
Floated into his arms, and he's good enough to to finish his work.
You can have a lot of opinions about Bailey Smith and his antics, but as a footballer, this guy is everywhere. Like, he is down in the back pocket there, driving the footy out of defensive 50, offering support. And his running ability is incredible. I'm really curious to see this matchup of Sarong and him.
Back in the middle, tossed up. Jackson didn't quite win it out that time. Lovely win by Holmes, was clean through the middle, takes a couple of bounces, runs through the wing, then left half forward, goes inside 50, reaching out was Neil, it didn't quite stick, and it's over for a boundary throw in, 40 around from the Cats' goal.
It's been a very fast game, Cal. I'm not sure they can hold on to this for 4 quarters, I tell you. Running bounces, Bailey Smith, back pocket to forward pocket. The Fremantle Dockers, the way they're moving the ball inside 50, it's been a fantastic and fast start.
Not going to get a better afternoon for footy either. Toss back into play. Jackson just rips it out of the ruck that time. His kick is a bit of a floater up towards left half back. It's intercepted by Guthrie, who's looking short initially, and then he's just going to pop it to the top of the square. Flyers are there. Martin came from 3 deep, couldn't stick it at ground level. It's off a couple of shins and out for a boundary throw, and this time 20 around from the Cats' goal, left forward pocket.
Back to your point, Boom, it just shows how important centre bounce is. Like, the explosive power of midfielders these days, if you haven't got pace and the ability to get out of traffic, you just won't last them there at this level of football.
You were the best. Alex Pearce just wandering back into the field of play after doing some warm-ups in the rooms for a prolonged period. Bounces around at the stoppage. Luke Jackson emerges with it, arches the back, kicks out to a vacant Hickey stand wing. Bouncing ball out there in front of Voss. O'Connor did well to trap it. Now Bruin can enter the 50 for the Cats. Overcooked the kick badly. McDonald couldn't hang on. Dangerfield just busts through the pack. Couldn't shred the tackle. And the Dockers can clean up from defence. Brayshaw, handball to Warner. Took on the tackle. Got caught. Got rid of it. Umpire said it was okay. Cats win it back. Bruin now off a step. Sizes it up and kicks the goal. The Cats just put it into chaos. And Tanner Bruin salutes off a step from 45 metres out and gives Geelong its first lead of the game. 2 straight, plays 1-2. We've travelled 7 in the opening term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Your experts are Cal Sinclair and Boomer Harvey.
Well, that's AFL football, isn't it? Trying to get it out of defensive 50. You probably get one opportunity to get yourself out of traffic, but if you hesitate and try and go for a second, good teams like Geelong, they just get that press and absolutely demolish you guys. Tanner Bruin, I actually liked his game last week. It looked really, really hard to tackle. Obviously had an interrupted season last year with a few incidences, but felt like great finish for him. Excellent start to his 2026 campaign.
The kick before, he had a kick about 30 seconds before that, and it wasn't to the Geelong's advantage. It was a really poor kick, actually, because the Geelong forward was hitting up, and he put it over the back. But his second crack at it, when he got it, we've got a goal.
We're going back.
Review.
Yeah, they were pretty confident. I think it might have been...
It's Chapman
I think who it was.
Touched it.
Yeah, they...
Touched off the boot.
He was very confident when that ball went through, but...
Wide out for the first time this year, Maisie.
Oh, that wrecks me too. My book looks ugly already.
I hate it.
Put him down.
So 1-1-7 now, the Cats. The Dockers 1-2-8, 1 point the margin. We've played 8.5 minutes in the opening term. Long kick from Clark, out of full back. No mark taken. Left half back here for the Dockers. O'Driscoll becomes the tackler on Blitzars, and we'll have a stoppage around 70 out from the Cats' goal. Tossed up quickly. Jackson won it down to Brayshaw, who shrugged the tackle beautifully. Went inboard. That was a nice run by Reid as well on the outside. He delivers up to half forward. It just makes Voss, who goes inside 50. No mark taken by Amos. Did work at ground level though. Got it off. And wonderful breaking of the tackle by Sarong. Bursts through and kicks the goal. He's having a good start this afternoon, as are the Dockers. 2-2-14. The Cats 1-1-7, margin 7 points, approaching the 10-minute mark of the first term.
You're going to hate my comment here, but Luke Jackson, he's having a massive day, particularly at every single stoppage. His footwork is incredible. He's tapping it, giving his mids first use, but Sarong there, Boomer, I just know it comes down to work rate.
It's fantastic. He's at that stoppage. He works super hard. There's one little passage of play where a miss doesn't mark the football, and he's just in the perfect spot. It's percentage football. He's in the perfect spot. He has a fumble, and he's still good enough to gather the ball. I can see him, and he's starting in the forward 50 now, but I can see him being a dominant little forward too towards the end of his career, where he can kick 30s and 40s if he plays there for a full length of time.
3-time reigning Doig medalist. It's like he's still overrated in this part of the country. Holmes goes long inside forward 50 for Geelong. Cameron crashes the pack. Martin there as well. Chapman can mop up for the Dockers. Hands it off to Walker, who played very sparingly last year. Just the first 2 games for Freo before a badly dislocated shoulder ruined his campaign. Exited to Bolton. Hands it off to Clark. The former catch at the edge of the 50. And Tracy's a commanding presence up there. He wheels immediately. Kicks to the square. And that is just easy money for Fremantle. Amos marks, whips around, kicks the goal. And the Dockers, after the Cats were cruelly denied one at the other end through the score review, the Dockers go whack in a minute to get that margin out to 13 points. 3-2 to 1-1. 11 played opening term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Carol, you spoke about putting speed on ball. Now that was another handball receive off half-back flank there. Amos, as soon as he seen that Tracy had a one-on-one, he headed back towards goal, and the Geelong defender who was on him got caught ball watching because he knew that his teammate was going to mark that ball, and he marked it convincingly. Well, he looks like a big boy out there.
Well, it's generally a dangerous kick, long distance and half forward, isn't it? Particularly with the run that teams give off half back, but look like Wayne Carey-esque coming out there at Optus Oval back in 1994.
I think they're really happy to get the 2-on-2 and just get the ball in deep to those boys.
Thrown up, Darcy having a run in the ruck. Reid run it down. His hand pass was a little too hot. He went and mopped up his own mess. Got it to Erasmus out on the wing. Now to Brayshaw with the run. Right half forward. Drives it long inside 50. Amos working his man underneath the ball. What a spoil that is from O'Sullivan. Could have easily given away the free kick. Had to be clean, and he hit it with his left fist as clean as a whistle. Out of play.
He's had a really good few efforts, O'Sullivan, particularly in that first 5 minutes was coming in hot. That's probably his 4th spoil for the game.
That footy was swirling around everywhere. He read it beautifully. 5th in the Rising Star last year. Connor O'Sullivan. Ball tossed back in. Darcy missed it. Picked up by Myers for the Cats in defence. Hands it off to the irrepressible run of Max Holmes, who blasts it wide to the wing out in front of Dempsey and Warner. It came off a boot, but it was over the boundary line first. No, it is going to be a last touch free kick going to Warner. So Ollie Dempsey's a bit unlucky, and the locals are restless about that. Centre of the Hickey stand wing. Dockers by 13 points. Tracy slides in at left half forward. 55 from home. Voss is leading to the pocket. Amos at the top of the square. Darcy floating back there as well. Tracy just waits for it all to unfold. The set-up kick. Amos came from a couple deep. Falls to the ground inside defensive 50 for the Cats to Koning. Tried to manufacture something out of there. Kicked it straight back to Josh Tracy.
He's not thinking about a shot here, is he? So the man on the mark is right on the paint of 50. Now he's going to dab it to a dangerous position. It had a bit of penetration about it. And I've never seen Sean Darcy doing the roving, but that's exactly what he did. Kept it inboard. Erasmus snaps, brings it back. It's another for the Dockers. What work on the behind line by big Sean Darcy. He's kept that alive, and the Dockers have 4 on the board before the 15-minute mark at Cardinia Park. 4-2-26, 1-1-7 the Cats. And this is a hot start for the visitors.
Well, Tracy done the lasso, like the boundary umpire, so I'm not sure what that will. We know what it means now. He's going to go to the top of the square. So if he does that again, we'll all be ready for that, and so will Geelong, because it was telegraphed like no tomorrow. But it's a hot spot, isn't it? You put it into the dangerous part of the ground. Geelong defenders are under the pump, and you're right, Sean Darcy on the goal line and kept the ball alive. It was fantastic play by the Dockers, and a beautiful finish. And what a start.
I'll tell you what, they'll probably be a little bit disappointed, Geelong. Tom Stewart was in the hole both those times. Not one Freo manning up on him. He had hands to both of those kicks going inside 50. So probably a little bit frustrating there if you were a Geelong. But Freo, just got to be careful. The last thing you want is Tom Stewart roaming free in that...
Bit of a pause back in the middle here.
Oh, no, more wide out.
We've seen it at the other end.
Oh,
gee whiz. Round 1. And the wide-out tape is almost gone. So 2 goals reversed. That becomes a behind. 3-3 to Freo. Neil Erasmus with his second behind of the game, of course, after he missed one earlier on. So 3-3-21 plays 117. The Cats had one erased at the other end, and now it's the Dockers' turn to suffer the cruel blow of the arc. As Henry and Lawson Humphries combine to get it outside the defensive 50. Humphries kicks to the wing. Walker wanted it desperately to go over the line untouched. And he's going to get a free kick for his trouble anyway after he got a shove from Clark. Carl Warner's going to end up with it here, in fact. Just established himself as a really good small defender last year, did Carl Warner. Played 23 games for the Dockers. He eases the kick to the edge of the 50 here. Humphries had it go through his hands. Taken by O'Driscoll off to the damaging Hayden Young. Pokes his kick inside the 50 to Dudley. The smallest man out there got up high. Pulled it in above his head. And Isaiah Dudley's got a set shot of 45 metres to peg or to get that goal back for Freo.
And that's smart by Freo. You saw Tom Stewart there. I'm not sure if he was exactly manning up on Dudley, but he tried to sag off. But what Freo did, they turned inboard and turned corridor side, caught him off guard, not manning up. Dudley sitting there 35-40 out.
Kick 2 in the elimination final last year did Isaiah Dudley. 15 for his first in purple, and he makes a very good start to his second in the Dockers colours. And after they had a goal tonight as well, now Freo on the board again. They have kicked 3 in a row, and that margin is out to 20 points. 4-3-27. Geelong 117, 16.5 played opening term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Your experts Cal Sinclair and Boomer Harvey.
Probably just a subtle reminder to Tom Stewart, albeit he had those 2 opportunities a few minutes before, but just not getting off the leash, just letting them kind of, manning up your man. And but it just shows what happens when you turn inboard into corridor side. I'll tell you what opens up. Dudley does.
And normally what we see is Geelong trying to manufacture the spare down back, and usually that's Tom Stewart, but there's been so much speed on the ball that they haven't been able to do that. Now, Tom Stewart hasn't touched the ball. You don't see that very often in 17 minutes of football.
Back in the middle. And Fremantle looking for another clearance win here as Sarong goes in, farms it out. Strong in that contest was Bruin coming the other way. Scrapped a kick 4, but only as far as Clark, who's just behind the centre circles. Clark goes very short on this occasion to Johnson, who's thought about going a little wider. He goes very much more direct, straight through the middle to Young, who's going to draw the man on the mark. Gives it to the running Clark, right to the top of the square. Oh, big leap in the middle by Tracy. At ground level, O'Driscoll. Is that too high on Reid? Umpire says no, I'll have it. No prior opportunity. A stoppage to take place 20 metres out directly in front of the Freo goal. They lead by 28 and gone first term.
Kicked the last 3 in the game. Had plenty of opportunities. Bruins handball over his head's a dangerous one. Young in the left forward pocket for the Dockers. Dudley's on the spot again. Had it socket to him. Had a flying snap and hits the left hand upright for a minor score. 4-4 to 1-1. 18 played opening term. Earlier today, the Bulldogs absolutely thumped the Giants behind 6 goals from Aaron Norton by 81 points at Docklands.
Quick kick in to Humphries. Back to Bruno, who almost ran himself into trouble. Works the 1-2 with Blitzarves, and now a free kick paid down the ground as he hand passed it to Guthrie, who kept on trotting anyway. His kick a little overcooked, and just dispossessing his opponent at the last minute was Martin, so Geelong can hold on to that one. No clean hand pass there by Chapman. Martin goes very short to Atkins, who keeps on running, kicks to the top of the square. Cats have a couple of flyers at ground level. Erasmus takes it. Dempsey jumps on him. Now Dempsey trying to farm it out himself. He does eventually to O'Connor. Hand pass back to Myers. Squeezes a kick out. Awkward bouncing ball right to the line. Saved on the line. And now Erasmus is away in the back pocket. Drives the ball long outside of defensive 50. Tracy was strong in the contest. Taconi pushed him under it and then did well at ground level to win the ball back. Kicks inside 50 and in front Neil. Stuck out the hands. Had a little bit of separation on his opponent. Came from a little on the side but took a strong grab.
Great one-on-one right in front of us by Taconi, wasn't it? He was a strong player in Tracy. We've been pumping up his tyres all day and just wins that one-on-one. Tracy goes to ground. DeConing gets the ball, dishes it off, another inside 50 for Geelong.
So Shannon Neal will line up from about 35 metres out, slight angle to the left. He's normally a pretty good set shot. In he comes, Neal, and that is no exception. Straight over the goal umpire's hat. And Geelong get a steadier in this opening term. Neal has his first of the afternoon. The Cats have their second. 2-1-13 plays the Dockers 4-4-28.
And I think Neil's probably exactly what Geelong are probably crying out for a little bit, giving Cameron some relief. He's played 46 games now. He's over 200 centimetres, and from all reports, he's done a bucket load of work on his body the last couple of years. But, I think for a player like him, Burma, after 46 games, you want to see him getting up to that kind of 45, 55 goals a year kind of mark if you can.
Yeah, absolutely. He's such a big sort of presence up forward, and that allows Jeremy Cameron to get up the ground. We know how big his tank is, where he can take his opponent up the ground and work him back. But when you've got that big stay-at-home guy like Neil, yeah, you're right, Cal. I think it's a 40 or 50, maybe 55, 60 goal year for him.
44 for the big fella last year, but he started the season in really strong fashion, and he's a beautiful kick of the footy too. It's an easy-looking motion when Shannon Neal gets a hold of it. Darcy and Edwards in ruck, the debutant for the Cats, going up against the Man Mountain, Sean Darcy, from down at Cobden in southwest Victoria. Cats got the clearance, but it's going to come back the other way. Here's McVee for the Dockers, stepping through a tackle. A little 1-2 with Darcy, then flicks it out wide looking for Switkowski. He's going to turn it over by hand. Dempsey came crashing in, offloaded to Close. He got dragged down in the tackle. On the AFL logo, we'll have a ball up. Joel Peterson, Andrew Mays, Boom Harvey and Cal Sinclair with you this afternoon. Saturday footy on ABC Sport at Cardinia Park. It's the Dockers 4-4 to the Cats 2-1. Geelong with the last goal after Freo kicked 3 in a row to get out to a 20-point advantage. Bruin and Myers share it by hand. Nice little infield kick from Brian Myers, measured beautifully to Lawson Humphries.
Humphries, little undecided, comes onto his left, right to the boundary line. Mark taken just inside by Atkins, in front of the interchange benches. On halfway, runs inboard a little, and hooks the kick around. Cameron's there, it's over his head. Mixed ball over the top by Chapman. Close couldn't try get onto it all. Almost should have been in danger as Smith went in with boot only. The kick out of defensive 50, only as far as Atkins. A hand pass then to Myers. Myers keeps it low going inside 50. No mark taken. Pearce is pushed off the footy that time by Close. He couldn't get it away. Back into traffic. Pearce goes again. Unlucky not to cop a high one. And it'll be a ball up. 40 out directly in front of the Cats' goal.
Set the ground up really well. Geelong got a couple of spares here now, so Fremantle exit will come straight back in.
They do so well, particularly at this venue. Pearce has another go at the stoppage. This time he does extract it, kicks a high footy out wide. Amos had to try and toe poke it in the end to keep it alive. It bounced its way to Stewart in front of the interchange. His handball pressure turned it over to Young. Now Switkowski, infield by hand. Warner waits for it to unfold in front of him. Handball through to Young, who cuts a line through the middle of the ground to Jackson. And now it really opens up for Freo. Johnson inside 50. And the big kahuna charges out from the square, latches onto it 45 out. And Tracy will have a set shot from just inside the arc.
I think Geelong are just really getting exposed whenever Freo get it by hand. They're turning inboard to the centre of the ground every time. For some reason, Geelong's team defence is completely set up boundary side. As soon as they turn for an inside handball, the game is just completely opened up, and Freo look very, very dangerous going inside 50.
Third in the best and fairest leading goal kicker. Kicked 5 in their practice match against Adelaide. Josh Tracy sent that on its way and just sneaks it inside the left-hand goalpost. 5 in the opening term for the Dockers. This is such a bright start to a season full of promise for Fremantle. 5-4-34. The Cats 2-1-13, 24 played in the opening term. You're listening to Saturday Footy on ABC Sports.
Cal, it's a great shout out by you, because the Fremantle Dockers were shaping boundary side, and as soon as that one player, I can't remember who it was now, as soon as he shaped back inside, it changed the whole thing, and Geelong defenders then got shifted. And when I say shifted, Geelong were covering the outside, and when the ball movement come back inside, the Fremantle Dockers could hit up at the ball carry out. It's exactly what it did. It was a beautiful kick going inside 50, lowered the eyes, and again, our man Tracy, who we pumped up a few times, slots another one.
There's just not much a defender can do.
Yeah.
Like, it's horrible when it happens to you.
Back in the middle, Bolton, defensive side of the stoppage. Oh, spun out of the tackle beautifully when it looked like he was in trouble. He did sell his mate into trouble, low Brayshaw. He's dispossessed immediately in the tackle. Hand pass comes to Close, who takes a little bit off the kick. Dangerfield tries to slap it on. It fell off his opponent into a little bit of space, and now Clark has it for the Dockers. Retreats back inside defensive 50. Mark taken by Warner. Looking across defensive 50. Nothing opens up, so he goes to the wing. Jackson steps high, couldn't take the mark. There's a free kick in there as well, and it's going the way of the first gamer, Edwards. He's going to go long, inside attacking 50 to a one-on-one. Dangerfield, all coming across the front was Clark, couldn't take it at ground level. Hand pass from Cameron to Holmes, and then back to another goal from Clark, who got up immediately after he didn't win the initial contest, stayed in it though, and delivers Geelong's third goal with a lovely left foot snap. The Cats move to 3-1-19, 5-4-34 the Dockers. Margin back to 15 points.
8 goals for the quarter. We're seeing a good brand of football here, and this is what the AFL wants. It's very fast, rebound from rebound 50 all the way through to the coalface, and that was a great goal by young Clark, who polished up his work and all on work rate. It's great to see young kids coming through and working so hard and getting rewarded for it.
Just feels like the pace of the game, particularly with that centre bounce rule, and obviously the out of bounds between the arcs, has just lifted the pace of the midfields and how hard it would be to keep up out there. I think there's no reason why I'll let you guys call this.
So back in the middle, Brayshaw takes it away. A little bit of help from Young, kicks to half forward. Oh, Guthrie dropped the mark, lets Sarong in, bounces around at half forward for the Dockers. Edwards has a go, flicks it up toward Guthrie. Young picks it off, pokes it into the pocket, looking for Voss. It's out of play, ball in right forward pocket for the Dockers.
I was just saying before, no wonder there's that need for that fifth person on the interchange. The pace of the game is just gone to an absolute new level this year.
Former Eagle, former Swan, Cal Sinclair with you. AFL Games record holder Boomer Harvey, Joel Peterson and Andrew Mays calling the action on ABC Sports. Still 6 minutes left in this opening term. We've played 26. So their desired quarter length doesn't seem to have come down. We had a 41-minute quarter in that Carlton-Sydney game last week as well. Some bruising work going on at the ruck contest, and Jackson's going to get a free kick this time.
Yeah, this is an interesting one here, because the Geelong ruckman goes up and jumps for the football, and his knee hits Jackson pretty high, but gee, it was a good leap. Cal, you're probably in a better position to talk about ruck work than I am. This is an interesting one for me, though. I'm not sure 100% that's a free kick.
You take him where you can get him.
Let's get a result in a free kick for Luke Jackson in the All-Australian squad last year. More midfield time for him this season. He's fourth in Dockers colours. So much talk about what his ceiling could be. If he finishes off like that throughout the course of the campaign, it could be something very special. Here's an absolutely perfect set shot from 45 metres out. And the Dockers get their sixth of the term, 6-4-40 to the Cats, 3-1-19, 28 minutes gone in the opening term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport, and Cal, for young Mitch Edwards, going up against Luke Jackson in your first game is quite the task.
I think Luke's obviously he's the poster boy for the modern day ruckman about what you kind of have to be. Like, it was an interesting one. It was a fantastic leap that he put into him, but rules are a little bit sensitive these days. He's gone.
I didn't know it's a free kick.
He took his eyes off.
He karate kicked him.
Put it right into him. So no,
he's got that wrong.
Fully entitled to that. But the thing about Luke Jackson is that he can actually stay involved in the play and actually spread with his fellow midfielders. Not many ruckmen in the AFL can actually do that. So guys like that are worth their weight in gold, particularly with the pace of the mids these days.
Taps it beautifully down as well to Brayshaw. Just got the hand pass away to Young. Another chance inside 50. What a hit that is. That is a bullet onto the chest of Tracy.
Any lasso? He's not doing the lasso, so I reckon he's having a shot on goal, guys.
Well, the other one went about 5 rows back, and the boundary line is a long way from the fence here, so I reckon his last set shot went about 60 metres. He'll have to kick this from beyond 50.
I'll tell you what, Luke Jackson's centre bounce work there, just his athleticism to put that down the throat of his midfielders. Like, as I said before, but you just can't do anything as a defender when it comes in that quick.
Tracy kicks from just beyond 50, maybe looking for the extra distance, tugged that horribly left and misses everything.
Should have gone the lasso boom.
It bounds on the full. 40 plays 19, margin 21 points in favour of the Dockers. We've played half an hour in the opening quarter.
He's had it out to that 21-point mark a couple of times in this opening term. Exiting kick from the Cats, last touch by Tracy offhand, so it'll be tossed in on that Hickey stand side. Glorious day here in Geelong. Light breeze favouring that city end, but beautiful blue sky. Temperature in the mid-20s. So a great day for footy. First game of the season for Freo. Cats on the bounce back from that shellacking of the Gold Coast last week. And this is going to be a lasso kick after that bounced off a Geelong boot at the throw-in. So Caleb Sarong will take it for the Dockers. Just try to be crafty and poke it over the top toward Murphy Reid, and Brian Myers ran that down and spiked it back over the boundary line. And it'll be tossed in front of the old interchange, or the old visitors race at left half forward on that outer side.
Murphy Reid with just the 3 touches to date. They've obviously put a lot of work into him from last time he was down.
Thrown back into play. Jackson on that occasion. And Johnson wraps up O'Connor in a good tackle. Will have a stoppage. This time, ball up. Tossed up immediately. Jackson turned around and then doing the tackling this time is Brayshaw on Myers, and we'll have another stoppage. Third go in a row at left half forward here for the Dockers, who lead by 21. Jackson won it down, only as far as a couple of Cats though. Blitzarves to Bruin. They work the 1-2, and then with the left foot, it's a risky kick from Bruin. Oh, O'Driscoll coming the other way. Lovely intercept. Good contest. Hand pass inside. 1-2 with Voss. Can he get back onto his left? He does, and he kicks a wonderful goal. Freo on fire here early. They have 7 opening quarter goals at Kardinia Park. 7-4-46. The Cats 3-1-19. 31 gone in the opening term.
Wow, what a goal. First of all, it was a defensive effort where he came forward and, he made up 25 metres on his opponent, who should have marked the football. It was just a little finger in there that he got in there and gave the 1-2, and thought he probably should have given another handball, but left foot around the corner. The boys are pretty happy with him, as they should be. That's a goal out of nothing there. Well done, O'Driscoll.
So what, it was a tough kick coming out of defence, but I think that's what good defensive structures do. Bailey Smith got forced back into the back pocket, and they were really pressing, and I think just being set up on the outside by Driscoll was very smart.
Best opening term for the Dockers since late in 2021. It's 7 goals for. Brett Rosebery took a tumble in the middle. Free kick out of the stoppage for the Cats. Awkward one as Bruin gave it to Mullen, poked it inside the 50. Geelong will come away with the football though. Manners kick around the body, not the required distance to the top of the 50 for Myers. He goes around the body, not the required distance to O'Connor. Gets it on the left boot, sends it deep. Pearce leads the race there. Had the position on Neal and takes the intercept mark for the Dockers on the last line of defence. Freo 7-4-46, the Cats 3-1-19. 33 minutes played in this opening term. We've still got 3 minutes of actual game time to go. Remember, you can join us 0437 774 774 on the text line.
Here's to Warner, who takes the man on the mark on, gains a few metres, and then kicks to the wing. No mark taken. Voss with a big tackle, locking it up. And a few of the locals wanted a high tackle. Umpire said he'll have it. In between centre wing and the boundary. Tosses it up. Jackson over the top. Lovely stoppage work again. Brayshaw out towards Bolton, and the mark wasn't taken by Henry, but he was infringed upon, so a free kick it'll be for the Cats defender. 3-1-19, plays 7-4-46. Comfortable 27-point lead for the Dockers.
Stewart to Koning. They'll just poke it around inside the defensive 50. Jack Henry comes to Bailey Smith at the top of the defensive arc. He wants to charge away from Hayden Young toward that Moorabool Street wing. Comes down the line. Clark rising over the top. Couldn't take it in over McVee. Neal played tunnel ball with it. He couldn't keep it in front of the boundary line. It'll be tossed back in. Marcus from South Melbourne on the text line behind the away goals. A massive crowd in today. It's pretty healthy, Marcus. And Rich from Ocean Grove hoping his beloved Cats can bounce back from a bit of a mauling last week. Big appreciation to the ABC team. He can't go to the footy anymore, so the ABC call with the TV on mute is his way of enjoying it. So good to have you with us, Rich. As the Cats enter the forward 50. Neal kicks deep. There's a free kick off the footy here. Cameron had a hold of Oscar McDonald. Hasn't taken the locals long to get into the swing of things with their appreciation for the umpires, which is pretty trademarked down in this part of the world. As McDonald kicks outside the defensive 50. Tracy got pushed past it. Free kick and advantage now to Fremantle. Reid will draw the player. Handball it over the top to Switkowski. He comes over the top now to Erasmus. Looping hand pass to Walker to right half forward. Enters the 50. Great stuff from Stewart, who thrashes it out of play and out for a throw in right forward pocket for the Dockers.
They just had a couple opportunities there to have a chain right through the middle of the ground, which has actually worked for them so well, but just hesitated and they got stuck on the boundary, and Stewart just came through with the collecting spoil.
Thrown back into play, into space that time by Jackson, and slapped forward by Brayshaw, only as far as Stewart, who gave it to Guthrie under immediate pressure. It's held to him. We'll have a ball up at the top of the goal square for the Dockers. 7 goals they've kicked in this opening term. Can they find another one late? Tossed up. What about Bolton on his left? Another one it is. Lovely snap. Another stoppage goal. And the Dockers head to 8-4-52. Geelong 3-1-19. 35 minutes played in the opening term, and what a pearler it's been for the visitors.
This quarter's going to go for 40 minutes. It's huge. Why so long? I know we've had a lot of goals kicked, but maybe the couple of touch and the reviews as well. But, geez, crafty Bolton. He's a midfielder. He's a forward. He's just crafty. He knows where the ball's going to go. The ball hits the deck. He's so elusive with the ball. He can turn left. He can go right. He's a nightmare matchup for a backman.
If you were Chris Scott at quarter time, I'd be looking at your defensive 50 ground balls. Like, they are getting absolutely smashed. I don't know what the stats are, if we could find them at some point, but Freo are absolutely cleaning them up.
5th highest opening quarter of any game for Fremantle now at 8-4-52. Their highest opening quarter against the Cats as well. So they are really on song early here, and you think about the way that they got absolutely dismantled in the corresponding matchup last year. This is quite the turnaround for the Purple, as that kick from Warner floats out of bounds on the full in front of Johnson. The Cats just have not been able to get going. 8-4-52 to 3-1-19. 37 minutes played in the opening term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Joel Peterson, Andrew Mays, Boomer Harvey and Cal Sinclair with you. Great to have your company in all of our footy states. A couple of games coming up tonight. Sydney and Brisbane, Collingwood and Adelaide. Get either of those no matter where you are on the Listen app. As Cameron pumps it inside the forward 50, a wobbly old kick, and Oscar McDonald read it well, going back with the flight, and drags it in 30 out from Freo's defensive goal.
Very courageous. Very courageous, Mark. Just going back. He knew what was coming. He was lucky that no one rammed into him, but what a courageous mark.
McDonald out towards Voss, who paddled it in front of himself, won himself a bit of space too, and then he's tackled close to the boundary line and forced over for a boundary throw-in right on centre wing. Incredible stuff here from the Dockers. At one stage, before it was brought back from behind, Tanner Bruin's goal had put the Cats up 2-1 early in this. Since then, it has been all the Dockers. From the stoppage, Johnson over the top ensures that it's locked in. We'll have another ball up, this time on the wing. 8 opening quarter goals for Fremantle. What a statement this has been so far. Siren goes to end the first term. And Chris Scott looks at things pretty pensively in the box, in a bit of conversation with his assistant coaches, because they've got some work to do. The Dockers, 8-4-52, leading the Cats 3-1-19 after the opening quarter of footy. Goal kickers will start with the Cats, all singles, Cameron, Clark and Neal. Meanwhile, for the Dockers, 2 to Bolton and 1 each to Sarong, Jackson, Amos, O'Driscoll, Tracy and Dudley.
One of those opening quarters that you go looking through the record books. Their best opening quarter against any team since 2015. Their 5th best overall for Fremantle. Their best ever against Geelong as well. The first time they've kicked 8 goals in an opening quarter since back in 2021. So quite the start for Freo in a season laced with expectations, and expectations that they are leaning into. Well, they've only had 1 quarter of football, but they have delivered on all that promise so far. Dockers by 33 points at the end of one here at Cardinia Park. You're listening to Saturday Footy on ABC Sport.
Exciting, rule-breaking, shaping who we are.
When the song was released, it was banned.
Inspiring arts in When the War is Over, Take 5 with Zan Rowe, and the new season of The Piano.
It's fabulous.
Creativity and so much more on ABC iView.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Wagner drops a high footy inside the forward 50. Jackson reaching up, can't take it. Sarong does the roving inside the forward 50. Paddles it to the pocket, kept it in front of Atkins. Hooks his kick back toward the top of the goal square. Voss fights for it. Bolton takes it at ground level. A spin, a swivel, a snap and a great goal.
Nice run by Reid as well on the outside. He delivers up to half forward. It just makes Morse, who goes inside 50. No mark taken by Amos. Did work at ground level though. Got it off. And wonderful breaking of the tackle by Sarong. Bursts through and kicks the goal. Blitzarves to Bruin. They work the 1-2, and then with the left foot, it's a risky kick from Bruin. Oh, O'Driscoll coming the other way. Lovely intercept. Good contest. Hand pass inside. 1-2 with Voss. Can he get back onto his left? He does, and he kicks a wonderful goal. Freo on fire here early. 7 goals they've kicked in this opening term. Can they find another one late? Tossed up. What about Bolton on his left? Another one it is.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
It was a demolition job from the Dockers in that opening term. 8 goals, 4. So the Cats 3-1-19, 38 minutes in that opening term. And so many of them were controlled by the team in purple on the road here at Kardinia Park. Their best opening quarter since 2015, their 5th highest overall, and their highest scoring opening quarter of a season in their history as well. I'm reliably informed by Mitch Turner, who's delved deep into the record books to find that little gem. So 33-point lead to the Dockers at the end of one. Joel Peterson and Andrew Mays calling it for you on ABC Sport with their summation of the opening term. Brent Harvey and Cal Sinclair. And you said, Boomer, that it was going to be a statement game for the Dockers potentially. It was certainly a statement of an opening quarter.
Regardless of what happens with the result now, we've seen what the Fremantle Dockers can do, and their best this year is going to be very, very good. 8 goals for the quarter, 7 goal kickers. And what I love, Cal, the most is the speed that they're putting on the ball. You called it perfectly, where they could have came outside, but they went back inside through the corridor. And it just makes it super hard for the Geelong defenders to even know where the ball's going to go. While doing that, they're dropping their eyes a lot. They're dropping their eyes, lowering their eyes, and hitting. I think everybody knows the way Tom Stewart plays. He likes to zone off and thinks where the ball's going to go, he will go. But they're lowering their eyes. Tracy's hitting up at the ball. Amos is hitting up at the ball. Voss is hitting up at the ball. They're also winning at the contest as well, getting the ball inside to outside to put speed on it. So I think they're doing a lot right. And on top of that, they're winning the tackle count, 19 to 14. So they're doing so much right with their pressure as well. I think it's been an outstanding start in the first quarter.
Geelong just looked completely outpaced in the middle of the ground. And you touched on it, Boomer, I guess, Freo's connection going inside 50. Geelong, when they're getting it, it just feels like they're going, there's just no real method, particularly in that first quarter. Like they're kind of getting in there and kind of somewhat just kind of hoping. The interesting one is Patrick Dangerfield. There wouldn't be many quarters of footy where he's gone completely statless. So I'm not too sure if he's nursing something on the sidelines or because they kept him forward there for a big chunk of that quarter. It just felt like they needed some leadership in the middle of the ground but I'm probably a little bit worried about his pace compared to everyone in the ground. He came in
with a calf concern as well, which was the reason he didn't play last week.
Understood. So, and Bruce, them going through the corridor, which Freo have been doing, very, very hard to do at skilled stadiums. It's a very narrow ground compared to other stadiums in the AFL. But once they're doing that, as a defender for Geelong, you'd be absolutely filthy on your midfield. Like, they're getting absolutely exposed. And as the guys down there at the moment, they just can't actually do too much. But the corridor handball is killing them. For me, it probably just needs some leadership from Geelong in the middle of the ground to go, hang on a second, let's just kind of make a statement for a few minutes to put the brakes on these guys. Because at the moment, they're just getting completely outrun.
And it's good to look good in football. You got Bailey Smith and Max Holmes and Tanner Braun, 10 for Braun, 7 for Smith and Holmes, but they're getting absolutely smashed through that middle of the ground. And the numbers are not so high for Fremantle, but what they're doing, they got more contributors, and there's more people to go through there. The way that Hayden Young kicks that football, lowering those eyes again, what we've been speaking about. They're breaking lines. It's going to be really interesting to see if they can keep this up for 4 quarters. I know they can certainly keep it up for a half of football. Can they do it for 4 quarters will be the big question.
With that running pace, they'll be very, very hard to play in Perth, particularly with the conditions, the big stadium, the big ground, the home crowd advantage that they'll have over there. If they can open the Geelong up here on their home deck on these on the dimensions of this field, I couldn't imagine how, challenging it'll be to play Freo on the MCGs and the Optus stadiums of the world. But I'm interested to see what's happening with Danger if he's coming back on there. He's starting at full forward again, but he hasn't had a touch, so I'll just be curious to know if they can get him in the midfield at some point to, just stem the flow. But Sean Darcy's now in the ruck. Luke Jackson's now, taking his turn. Be curious to see how this evolves.
So what an opening term from the Dockers. Up by 33 points at the end of one. The start of the second. It's Max Holmes who's been busy for the Cats and generating some of that trademark run. Has to go 50 metres backwards to try and move it forward. So he's run all the way to the back edge of the centre square out of the centre circle. He's kicked it to Manor, who's only 10 metres in front of halfway. Manor pokes it toward the edge of the 50. Darcy goes with one hand, knocked it down. Smith picked it up. Manor kept running. A little fake from Sean Manor, and he pumps the fist as soon as he kicks it from 40 metres out. They needed a response badly to start this second term, the Cats. And Sean Manor steps up to the plate and delivers it in the opening minute. Geelong 4-1-25. The Dockers 8-4-52. 0437 774 774 to join us. John from Bacchus Marsh. I drove through Bacchus Marsh on the way here. Said, I'm sitting on the banks of the Goulburn River under the awning of the caravan. Birds everywhere. A glass of wine and footy on the radio. Life is good. Good on you, John. And Ron from Adelaide. This is a little bit macabre. Hi, guys. Enjoying the call. The Scott brothers have got some headaches. Well, that might have helped alleviate Chris's, at least, Cal, that start to this term for the Cats.
Exactly. I think the great observation, Max Holmes, he had the ability to run to centre half back, but I think either Freo forwards were caught napping there. He should be absolutely annihilated if he's going to win the footy there. Back
in the middle, Jackson playing rover this time, received the tap from Darcy, held to him, going nowhere.
Cal spoke about the luxury of having Luke Jackson like that. He's just played as a rover there and got a clearance.
Inside midfielder, if you don't mind. Lovely hand pass to Murphy Reid, who went inside 50. No mark taken. Blitzarves, Roves front and centre, and now off to Henry. Risky kick into the middle. It pitches. Oh, Dempsey did extremely well just to soccer it forward. Off the shins of Martin. Off to Clark there, who spun through a couple of tackles. Darcy tried an audacious handball. It's held to Blitzarves, who was coming the other way, and we'll have a ball up. Still almost in the middle of Cardinia Park.
It's a big workload for Jackson, though, isn't it, really? If you're going to play 22 games plus finals doing that, good luck to him. But
down to Atkins. He got around a couple of tackles. Kicks inside, attacking 50. Martin stationed in front of McDonald. Couldn't take the mark. Umpire wave play on. At ground level, hand pass comes out. Oh, lovely little dummy there in the end by Walker coming the other way.
Well done.
Now receives the 1-2. Short kick. It's a little grubby. Amos has to do a bit of work at ground level. Now Bolton becomes the tackler. Henry still kept his hands free. Was able to get it to Stewart, who goes up beyond centre wing with his kick. Now Walker. Well, he actually left it for Warner in the end, and then he was looking for Warner. Couldn't find him. Slapped down there by Close. And we'll have a ball in right on halfway.
One more for the Freo opening quarter record files. Highest first quarter ever outside of WA. So there you go. That's the book shut on the pages of the chronicles of that opening term for Freo. Geelong will certainly hope that there's not another chapter added to that. They've got the opening goal of this second term. Jackson lays a bruising tackle on Tom Stewart.
It's a good call, Cal, because imagine the discussion with the coach. Hey, coach, I can't ruck all day. Okay, have a spell, go on ball.
Horrible. On ball, he'll go forward throughout the course of the year as well. Dribbling kick from Holmes.
But they will have to manage that. 100%. There's no way you could last 25 games this year.
Last touch free kick for Brayshaw. Kicks to the edge of the 50. Tracy came through the pack. Roved well by Edwards for the Cats. Hands it off to Humphreys, who kicks down the wing. Punched forward by McVie. Couldn't get it in purple hands. Bailey Smith flicks it over his head. Desperate stuff from Blitzarves. Try to get it to Close. Bolton swoops in. Angles the kick infield to Sarong, who had runners streaming past everywhere. Here's Judd McVie with two bounces through the centre. Handball to Switkowski. Tried to paddle it back to him. And Humphreys was away to all of that, but there's a free kick coming to Switkowski. He got upended after he got rid of it. Connor O'Sullivan was the offender. And Sam Switkowski will take it from the top of the 50. Ball's out at left half forward. No one wants to give it to him. So it looks like the Freo physios had to chuck it over in his direction.
Yeah, it's a physical game. We've got to remember it's a physical game. It's not a free kick for me. The Fremantle forwards will be filthy on Judd McVie then. He had 2 or 3 opportunities to kick the ball into him, and he elected for one of those silly handballs that go over the top to get a 1-2.
Missed the elimination final last year. Did Switkowski. He's so important to this Freo team with his pressure and his dash and his zip. He's got a set shot of more than 50 metres here. He lays into it. It's away to the left for a minor score. 8-5-53, plays 4-1-25. 5 minutes gone second term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Great to have you with us in round 1 of the 2026 season.
Switkowski's first score of the afternoon is a behind. Now Stewart from full-back. Short kick into the right-back pocket to Henry. He squeezes one around the corner nicely to O'Sullivan, who finds himself in a bit of space. Strides away, looking for Blitzarves on the wing. Didn't elect to go for the mark, just punched it on in the end. Gained about 20 metres, only as far as Pearce, though, who's taken in a strong tackle. Just got it away to Chapman. Then to Darcy inboard, flat-footed. He turned it over by hand to Close. Now to Cameron, who pulls the kick late to Edwards. Showed great agility for a big man, but then only just got the ball to his boot. It dribbles inside attacking 50. Locked up immediately by Clark as Dempsey was going nowhere.
That's where Darcy's just got to be stronger in those particular contests. I know he hasn't played a lot of footy for a couple of years, but...
Warner tackled. Not sure that was a legal hand pass. Umpire agrees. Manor, who's shown all sorts of work rate in the opening stages of this second term, will have a shot for his second.
He's just trying to get rid of the footy too quickly. The biggest guy on the field, just absorb it. Literally, these guys will fall off you and then be able to dish your midfielders. But to just cough it up like that, particularly at Burman, that part of the ground, look what's happened. They've now got a shot on goal for Geelong.
Now, we'll come back to this because I just want to ask you a question about... let Manor have a shot on goal first.
He'll have to kick this from right on 50. Runs pretty close to the man on the mark. Strikes it beautifully. Never looked like missing. He got one after 30 seconds in the second term. And he's got another after 6.5 minutes. 2 for the second term as the Cats try and claw their way back. 5-1-31, plays 8-5-53. The Dockers with a 22-point lead.
We've seen a lot of the teams so far playing 2 ruckmen. And I certainly don't want to end his career or anything like that, but is there room for that big, brute ruckman? Now, Sean Darcy is completely different to Luke Jackson, and maybe it works because of that. But Jackson can cover the ground like a midfielder. Sean Darcy clearly can't do that because of the size of the man.
I think the new ruck rules are going to hurt probably Sean Darcy going into this year. You need to be able to jump. Even today, he has been out-jumped a fair bit. I think the issue he's got is just now that midfield pace is so incredibly important, particularly out of centre bounce, it's going to be very, very difficult for him to keep up with the game.
So a couple of goals for Manor, as Maisie told you. The Cats are back in the contest after being blown away in that opening term. Clark gets wrapped up by Sarong after the ball spills forward for Geelong. Out of the stoppage, they kick to the Barwon River end here in this second term. Mitch Edwards just goes the big round arm to try and thrash it forward. And he's going to get a free kick. He thought he was off inside forward 50.
To your point, Boomer, though, centre bounce, Ruckman's follow-up has never been more important now with the new rules.
Edwards with the set-up kick. Who can he find on the end of it? Neal was there, Martin there. Big fist from Walker for the Dockers. Manners buzzing around it again. This time, Wagner returns serve with the tackle on Manor. That's no free kick there, and we'll have a ball up deep forward for Geelong.
Tossed up at the back of the stoppage this time. Clean pick up by Martin. Not so much the kick by Holmes, who was pushed off it. Myers onto it. Outside attacking 50. Dinky little kick is lovely with the left. And he finds Manor, who's 35 metres out, slight angle to the left, looking for his third in the term. It's only 8 minutes old.
He didn't get one in the first quarter, did he? No, he didn't. It's a good start. Looking for leaders to stand up. You go to your second year player? Third year player.
Yep.
How old is he? He'd be 27?
28.
28. So he's had an experienced level of football prior to getting the AFL system.
In he comes, 40 metres out, and he hits that beautifully as well. Make it 3. Sean Manor doing all the work himself in the opening stages of this second term. 6-1-37. The Dockers 8-5-53, 9 played, and Manor has 3.
Well, it was the craft by Myers, though, wasn't it? Just to stay so incredibly composed. And he's a great player, Myers. Just the ability to look one side, go, nah, I'm under a bit of pressure. Basically U-turn and find someone else inside 50. But look at that on the left, just only off a couple of steps and just find something inside 50. And it's been a great finish by him. 3 goals. I think everyone's very proud to see a guy like him take his opportunity at this level and probably just see the emotion. It probably means a little bit more to him.
4 inside 50s for the Cats for this quarter for 3 goals.
Cal Sinclair and Boomer Harvey with their thoughts on proceedings here on ABC Sport. And of course the winner of the Coaches Award, or Coaches Association Best Young Player last year at 27. High kick inside forward 50 from Young for the Dockers. Voss took it, got tackled by De Koning, and the big Cat wins a free kick. So they are defending grimly now, Geelong. They've got their way back into this contest and playing like they mean business, down by 16 points. 10 minutes gone in this second term. Freo have not kicked a goal in the quarter after banging on 8 in the opening term. Tanner Bruin inside defensive 50, a career best 31 disposals on return last week. Measures the kick nicely. Sheehan Mullins got it. Hands it off to Bruin, who comes scooting past off the back edge of the square. Tries to fashion a kick wide. Up in front. Good mark taken by O'Sullivan, who's quick to his feet. He went looking for guess who? Sean Manor. Couldn't find him. Cut off by Brayshaw. Now to Wagner across the back edge of the square for the Dockers. They can build something up here. Warner's almost missed his boot with the kick. Dribbles its way out towards Switkowski in front of the interchange. He paddles it along cleverly with a handball, a little dribbler. Then knocks it in field by hand. Johnson on the front point of the square for the Dockers. Nice entry. Amos the target. Gets out the back. Young's there. Paddles it to Voss. 15 out from goal for Freo. Voss is held up again. Ball into dispute. Dudley does the roving. And he kicks the goal. They finally worked that one out, Freo. Had threatened to get away from them again. And Isaiah Dudley, with his second of the contest, gets Freo's first of this second term. 9-5-59. The Cats 6-1-37. 12 played in the second quarter on ABC Sport.
Well, they made hard work of that one, the Dockers. It was beautiful work by Switkowski just in front of us, the old under 10. When you're too good for everyone, you dribble the ball to yourself and pick it up. It was fantastic. But I thought Amos should have attacked the ball a little bit better there, and he just let the Geelong player encroach on his space, and nearly a free kick, but it was well done. And Dudley, for his second goal of the half, great little forward craft there. Got in a great position. Probably could have gave the ball off, but like all small, cheeky forwards, kicked one over his head. We talk about live and die by the sword. You miss then, you get dragged, you kick him, you're a hero.
Freo by 22, now in the middle. Geelong look to go again, although dispossessed. Now a chance for Johnson, out to Sarong, looking for Amos inside 50, couldn't take the mark. Stewart rode him closely and then mopped up at ground level. Looping hand pass over the top, gets its way to Myers, and then a dinky little kick that went about 8 metres. Found Humphreys, he went inboard. Now Dudley, should have been tripped, didn't get the free kick. Hand pass over the top to Reid, who had a nice afternoon this time last year and has his first of the afternoon. What a finish that one is.
Give the crowd a little bit there too.
He did.
He gave the crowd plenty.
Plenty in the strut.
Had a bit of a stare off.
As he walked over. 10-5-65 now the Dockers. 6-1-37, 13 gone second term. A couple in a row and just a few steadiers for Freo.
Now, I spoke about Fremantle getting the ball from the inside to the outside then. Geelong had a couple of handballs and they were just too close. They were silly handballs. And it was Bolton that got the ball from an inside contest to the outside, where Fremantle had 2 players there, and Murphy Reid was one of them, who finished from 45. Beautiful.
They can't get any transition, Geelong, at all. Like, particularly coming out of defensive 50. It's probably a credit to Freo how they're setting up behind the ball, but they're trying their best there, Stewart, to generate some run. They just can't do it.
So good at it all throughout last year, generating scoring entries from defensive 50 chains, Geelong. All right, Cal, it's been tough going for them so far. They've got a clearance opportunity here. Atkins pushes it forward. Myers with a hack kick inside forward 50. Clark kept it alive in the right forward pocket. Hands it off to Cameron. Slips the tackle around the body on the left. Left it narrow. Minor score for Geelong. That margin back to 27 points. 10-5 Freo. 6-2 the Cats. 14 gone second term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. You can join us. 0437 774 774.
1 goal, 1 for Cameron this afternoon. Clark goes long from full back. Reid's there again. Reads it nicely off the pack. Retreats by hand. Now Chapman into the middle. Risky kick. All or nothing. Humphreys is there, although his hand pass was a little dodgy. Umpire got in the way. And then luckily it's a neutral ball as O'Connor wraps up his opponent O'Driscoll. And I think the umpire might have even said a little sorry there on the way through as they got up from the stoppage. Coming one way was McVie, hand passed it to O'Driscoll, who lost his footing, and then his hand pass misses everyone. Socked forward by Neil, inside attacking 50. Oh, Martin, that could almost be a mark. If not, it's a free kick. Umpires paid the mark, so the advantage can't be paid, as Manor was going to roll in and kick his fourth for the corner. So Martin will have to come all the way back to the top of 50, and this will take his best. He'll have to kick this 52, 53 metres, but he is directly in front.
I feel like this quarter, you've got guys like Ryan Myers playing a little bit higher up the ground. He's starting in the midfield, trying to generate some play, but once again, it's a great mark, but it just was an entry that was just brought on by luck.
So Martin kicks from 52. Has he got it in him? It's all the way to the line and just away for one behind to the left-hand side. 6-3-39 the Cats, 10-5-65 the Dockers. The margin back to 26 points. We've played 15 minutes in this second term.
Carl Warner with the kicking duties for the Dockers. Should be more players named Carl, in my humble. It's long to the front edge of the centre square. Erasmus off hands to Johnson for Fremantle. He just hacks it down the line, and DeConing will swallow that up.
Yeah, not a great kick, that one. Kick straight back to Geelong spare.
Now they can set things up from defence, the Cats, in the way in which they do oh so well. Stewart across the defensive 50 from one part of the paint to the other. He finds O'Sullivan out on the Moorabool Street wing. Comes infield, dangerous kick over the head of Blitzarves. Allows Jackson in. He threw it to Johnson. Umpire said no free kick. And immediately he was tackled by Jack Henry, who was there to hold things up.
Dangerfield he's on the bench now. Has he been on the ground this quarter at all?
He started at full forward.
He did start, did he?
From the stoppage, Clark off the back of it, gave it to Johnson. He kicks inside, attacking 50, high ball. Oh, Amos used his body beautifully, got rid of DeConing, roped it at ground level as well. A snap by Sarong right to the goal line, and it's marked by Tracy. Another goal coming up for the Dockers. This will be their third in a row after Geelong kicked the opening 3 goals of this second term in 9 minutes.
I want to see the ground ball differential for, I guess, in Freo's forward half, because whatever's happening with Geelong, they are just completely slow to react.
Tracy kicks the goal, his second, and Freo's third of the quarter. So all that work that the Cats did in the opening 9 minutes through Sean Manor has been undone. The margin is back to 32 points after it was 33 at quarter time.
Mate, you were absolutely spot on. They kicked 3 goals through the same bloke in 9 minutes, and now the Fremantle Dockers have done the same in 6 minutes. They kicked the goal at the 11-minute mark, now it's a 17-minute mark, and they've kicked 3, and all that hard work from Geelong to get them back into the game has unfortunately come undone. Amos is contesting really well. He's going to have one of those nearly games. Yeah. I nearly could have kicked 6. I nearly could have taken 15 marks. He's getting his hands on it. He's leading super well. He's just got to have more sticky fingers.
He's playing his role at the moment. Jai Amos, thoughts of Boomer Harvey and Cal Sinclair on ABC Sport. Joel Peterson, Andrew Mays calling the action for you. Jackson down decisively to Brayshaw for the Dockers. Kicks to half forward. Humphries puts his fist through it. Sarong playing a little bit more forward time today. Got it off to O'Driscoll, to Dudley, to Jackson, who kept running. Got hands to it. Inside forward 50 for Freo, said the umpire. Bruin back defensively. Henry's happy to walk that across, and that's deliberate. Every day of the week, he had no intention of keeping that alive as he walked it across the behind line. And Murphy Reid in the right spot. He's right up against the right-hand point post. Can he finish off here, having kicked one earlier in the term, and give Freo a new game-high lead? He glances the outside of the goal post. And it gets back to that equal game-high 33 points, 72-39.
Quick kick in, finds Bruin. Short kick is lovely on the angle. Finds Smith, who goes short himself up towards centre wing to Holmes. Back to the running Smith, and Bruin kept on going outside of him. Receives the hand pass, kicks inside 50. No mark to Neil over the back of the pack here. Freo get all the numbers, but there is a free kick here, and it's for holding the man as Clark came storming through. He was taken without it. He will line up from about 45 on a 45-degree angle to the left. Right, rather.
you just see the difference in passage of play from Geelong. Great effort trying to actually generate some ball and some handball receives, but they're still doing it boundary line. And you see Boomer going inside 50, how much your decisions are restricted. Whereas if they can just find an angle, like getting Bailey Smith to just run that corridor side, gets Hannah Brewer involved in that manner, makes life a bit easier.
Kicked one in the first. This one's across the face. This isn't going to register a score at all. Out of bounds on the full. He'll be disappointed with that one, Jai Clark. And Fremantle will receive the free kick. McDonald to take it next to the left behind post.
Oscar McDonald brings it back into play. Played the 7 games last season, stationed up forward at times. He's played down back today.
See who dropped that mark, Maisie? No, Amos. There's another one. I'm going to keep count today.
It's sort of Nathan Burke areas keeping count of that kind of thing, Boomer.
No, I don't like doing it, but he just looks so... He looks like he's going to tear the game apart. He's just not grabbing, he's just not finishing his work.
He's a talented player, the former number 10 overall pick, Jai Amos. Dockers chain it forward out of the stoppage here by hand. Young went one too many. Bolton held up Humphreys. Origin teammates for WA a couple of weeks ago, those two. And we'll have a ball up centre of the Hickey stand wing. Freo by 33 points, an equal game high lead. 21 gone second term. Saturday footy here on ABC Sport. Blitzarves shovels it forward from the stoppage. Coming back the other way, McVee. Bolton, defensive hand pass. O'Driscoll worked himself out of trouble well. Brayshaw puts a little step on, gets around onto his right boot, kicks it up toward half forward. Amos almost marked it, Boomer, couldn't drag it in. Myers at ground level does well. He's so nimble and fleet of foot as he bounces his kick through the centre to Smith.
Smith gathers the bouncing ball, short pass, wasn't 15. Neil has to go by hand, goes to Atkins in the middle. That's a lovely kick inside 50. Mark taken by Clark, who gives it to the running Guthrie, who sprays it. And he misses everything.
It's 2 on the full.
Couple out of bounds on the full in succession for the Cats. And the free kick will go the way of Chapman.
I actually thought it was a good contest by Amos before.
He's actually, that was a one-hander. He's not marking that one, but it was a great contest.
He was out of position.
Chapman brings it in, kicks as far as he can. O'Sullivan about 3 deep, couldn't jump.
Here we go.
It was a free kick. Umpire waved advantage. The kick didn't do much for Tracy. Henry was stationed in front of him, although what a wonderful one-arm tackle that was by Dudley. Henry was going nowhere. We'll have a stoppage on the AFL logo.
In that passage, you'd be filthy if you were Tracy. You were out. Just put it on his head and he's away.
I'm back to Zach Guthrie streaming past. What about the confidence of a man who's kicked 15 goals, 11 to come past like that and then blast it out of bounds on the full? Clearance for the Dockers. Tracy's made the mark.
Oh, wow.
He juggled that all the way over the boundary line. Umpire says it's okay. Lays it off into the pocket.
What a kick.
And Patrick Voss prances out from full forward and pulls it in. 5 in from the boundary line. 30 metres out from the Dockers' goal.
Geelong's crowd is very thick vocally, isn't it? Like, it's a very thick manner about it. You know what I mean?
You know what they're thinking.
Yeah, correct.
Don't leave a lot to the imagination down in this part of the world. Patrick Voss with the set shot here. Tough ask. Narrow all the way. 34-point lead for the Dockers is their biggest spread of the game. 11-7-73 to the Cats, 6-3-39. 8-goal opening turn for the Dockers if you've just joined us. The Cats kicked the first 3 of this turn through Sean Manor. The Dockers have done some damage since then.
Long kick and lovely mark by Cameron. 4 or 5 in that pack. He was stationed at the front. Took it strongly. Looking for the aggressive kick inboard. It's good too to find Smith. He's a true centre halfback. Gets it and goes. Short kick. Didn't do Manor any favours, although he was good enough to gather at ground level almost. Reid got him in the end and he got him a little high. So Manor, who kicked the opening 3 goals of this second term, can go back again. He'll load up. Deep inside attacking 50. And leading the way all the way was Alex Pearce. And he takes a strong mark in front of that entire pack.
I don't like the stand rule for that reason. Brayshaw was just saying that Manor was 3 metres over from where he actually should be. The umpire's right next to him and didn't call play on. If you don't go around behind your mark, it's play on. Or you let it come forward on the mark.
Boomer Harvey with you on ABC Sport. Alongside Cal Sinclair, your experts this afternoon. Free kick coming to Jackson here. A couple more for the record books. Highest scoring first half for Freo against Geelong ever. As Jackson plays on by hand. Clark, the former Cat, All-Australian last season. Pokes it up the line to Erasmus. He toe pokes it out wide now to O'Driscoll. 65 from home for Fremantle. Up by 34 points. 24 played second term here on ABC Sport. O'Driscoll with the set-up kick. High on the left boot toward full forward. It bounced untouched in the end. O'Sullivan has to do the dirty work. Tried to fashion something to Myers, who got pushed off it by the rampaging Josh Tracy. Picked it up, snapped it around the corner and missed. That was another sign of intent from the big man. Dockers out by 35 points as the Cats waste no time bringing it in through Holmes.
Dempsey takes the mark. He's outside of defensive 50. He was looking to go quickly, but nothing was opening up, so he's forced just to stop and prop for a moment. Almost got around the man on the mark in Johnson. Kicks towards the wing. Oh, good spoil over the top there by Warner, who came late and drifted in from the side. Forced the boundary throw in.
I'm sounding like a broken record. Boomer's on Amos about his almost marks, but my one is just the ground ball efforts again inside defensive 50 for Geelong. They're just getting beaten one-on-one and just fumbly.
Toss back into play. Atkins with the clearance. Hand pass over the top to Holmes. Got away from his opponent. Takes a bounce. Hand pass around the boundary line to Smith, who enters 50 with his kick. Into space. Neal couldn't get separation. Punched away. Now a strong defensive effort. It's slapped away from Clark, but back onto it. Here's Warner. Now they're away. Erasmus just took a little bit off the kick. He's looking for O'Driscoll. It went beyond him, and this will be a lasso free kick. It's coming back the Cats' way.
It'll be Machine Mullen to take it from the outer side for Geelong. Moves it on that right boot. Kicks deep inside 50. Dangerfield rises inside the 50. Hands it off to Cameron. Weaves his way through and kicks his seconds. And it was the strong aerial work of Patrick Dangerfield for his first touch of the contest.
Wow.
That sets up the goal for Geelong. 7-3-45 the Cats. Fremantle 11-8-74. 2 to play in this first half at Kardinia Park on ABC Sport. Your experts are Boomer Harvey, Kel Sinclair.
A little bit weird to see Patrick Dangerfield take a mark 25 metres out from goal and just dish it straight off. Maybe there is something going on with that calf and it's not so right, but the way he launches that football, he looked all right, didn't he?
Yeah.
Just interesting to give it off there.
It would just be curious to see, I guess, the rationale behind, I guess, leaving him at full forward because, albeit he might have a calf, it'd just be an interesting selection if you can't actually inject him at some point in the middle of the ground. But perhaps managing that structure, I don't know what they're doing.
Might be a benefit of 5 on the bench too. They can sort of rotate him a little more than previous as well. Geelong win the clearance here through Holmes, who kicks out towards the wing. Dempsey, lovely mark. No, he didn't complete it in the end. Turn tackler. Still got the hand pass away, though, to Myers, who puts it into space beautifully. Didn't even take a step. Just saw Cameron coming, and he didn't have to break stride, Jeremy Cameron. He's going to go back and line up for his third of the afternoon.
Going round the corner from here.
It's a fairly big roost, although if there's one man that can do it, this is him. Steps around. Oh, he's got the distance easily. Wow. And the accuracy. He's kicked a 55-metre snap of 2 steps for his third of the afternoon. He's got the last 2 of the game, Jezza. And they're back in this, the Cats. 8-3-51. Freo 11-8-74 after 28 minutes. So they kicked 3 behinds in a row, the Dockers. And Cameron has kicked the last 2.
Boomer and I just locked eyes. When that ball came off his boot, I don't think people understand how difficult that is to execute from that far out. But there will be many players. He wasn't a challenging angle, particularly for a left footer, Boomer, to just go back normally and put that through. But anyway, each to their own. And Jeremy Cameron probably has that licence. I never had that as a player, respectively, as a backup ruckman. But made the attempt every now and then.
How far do you reckon you could snap it?
Not 45 metres out, I'll tell you that much.
And that went over the fence into about 15 as well.
It's amazing power to generate that. It's like some of the Irish players can do that, whipping it around the corner off a step set, particularly in the AFLW. Likes of Alan Gilroy. Dockers with the clearance from the secondary ball up as Bolton sends it out wide. And Humphreys reaches over the top of Sam Switkowski to smash it out of play. It'll be tossed back in. Bailey Smith and Max Holmes leads all Disposal getters on the ground with 17. Luke Jackson's had the most for the Dockers, 12 and a goal so far. Freo led by 33 points at quarter time. They lead by 23 points now. The Cats with 5 goals in this second term to Fremantle's 3. All 3 of them have come in runs. As now Holmes gets it from Atkins from the stoppage. Kicks inside the 50. Dangerfield's looming. Walker does well. Worries him out of it.
Great one-on-one.
Streams away and delivers to Sarong. That was brilliant from Brandon Walker, who we only saw twice all of last year. He established himself as a key member of that defence before last season. But against one of the best that we've seen in the game, that is something of note for the young Freo defender. Reed kicks long out the wing. Tracy was in the pack. Edwards was felled. Wanted a free kick. Did the local crowd? They won't get it. We'll have a ball up centre wing.
How that was not a free kick. He's an absolute disgrace.
Darcy's just pushed him so hard in the back.
Darcy again.
Won the tap there to Erasmus, although the Cats are quick onto him. Lovely dinky kick out again in favour of Cameron, who's this time 75 from goal. Don't think he's quite got this in him. He'll look to palm it off this time. It's a short kick and a good one as well to Holmes, who goes back to Cameron. Kept on running, gets through 40. It's coming back, but not enough.
Yeah, now you know what? And Fremantle have got to be better than that. That everybody knows in this whole stadium, Jeremy Cameron kicks it short. He's getting it back from about 50.
And Sean Darcy needs to be very careful with his disposal now. How many times is he coughing up his handballs, particularly in the middle of the ground? For him to stay in this side, it needs to be a lot cleaner.
Cats close in to end that opening half. Cameron kicks the last 2 of the quarter and then misses one right at the bell. But Geelong have certainly made more of a fist of it here in this second quarter after conceding 8 goals in the opening term. They kick 5 goals to 3. They kicked the opening 3 goals. Sean Manor kicked the opening 3 goals of the quarter. Freo kicked the next 3. Geelong closed with the last 2. And it is 11-8-74 Fremantle to Geelong 8-4-52. Freo's highest scoring first half since 2016. So the Dockers have really ramped up the attacking side of their game. That quarter going 31 minutes and 16 seconds. Goal kickers in this opening half for Freo: 2 to Bolton, 2 to Dudley, and also a pair for the Dockers going the way of Tracy. Singles to Reed, to Sarong, to Amos, to Jackson and O'Driscoll. 3 goals, as we said, in the term for Manor for the Cats. 2 to Cameron, or 3 to Cameron at half-time. A goal to Clark and a goal to Shannon Neal as well. So for all the work that the Dockers did, the Cats forced their way back into it. They threatened to really get away from them, Freo, toward the end of that second term. But Boomer Harvey and Cal Sinclair, as both teams walk back to the locker rooms at half-time, what do we make of the contest at the moment?
Well, it's a fantastic contest. Fremantle started the game super well, and the reason why they're still ahead at half-time. But Geelong, through one bloke, Sean Manor, started the quarter unbelievable. We had 3 goals in 9 minutes, and then it was all Fremantle. For the next 15 minutes, it was all Fremantle, and they end up hanging on, but Cameron got on the end of the last couple of goals. So they still hold a handy little lead of 22 points at half-time, but I'm still liking what Fremantle are doing. They're still trying to put speed on the ball. They're still trying to get the ball to an even contest up forward, not allowing Geelong to get their numbers down back and get their spare, which they normally like to do. And the forward handball, Cal, or bringing the ball from the inner circle to the outer circle in terms of distance, I think they're doing quite well. And Geelong got themselves back in the game. I think they copied a little bit what Fremantle did in the first quarter by putting speed on the ball, and their last kick inside 50 was so much better this quarter than it was last quarter.
Well, it wasn't pretty, I guess. It kind of appeared like to me that Chris Scott would have given a message at quarter time to Freo, guys, just get back into this game and be a little bit competitive. We don't need a 12-goal quarter or whatever Freo kicks, but you saw some passages of play. They made a few mistakes kind of going into the middle of the ground and I guess taking a few risks, but they kind of had to. They had nothing to lose. There was such a chase on their hands at quarter time, but it just felt like a real grinding quarter there for Geelong just to get a bit more competitive and back into the game. But they're only they're only a few kicks away now from actually being in real competition to take out this game. Dare I say it, I feel like Freo are playing to their absolute maximum. I think we still believe that Geelong's got a fair bit to give in this second half. Cameron, you see him, he's kind of showing a little bit. He's kicked a couple of goals already. harping on about it, but I think Dangerfield's the interesting one for me. They are pursuing with him at full forward, albeit, he might be carrying a little bit of nil going into this game. I'm just finding it really, really curious, given where the scoreboard is, why they just haven't played him, even as a forward, a little bit higher up the ground, just to sort of get him involved in the game. But for me, I think that contest with Walker and Dangerfield was an absolute ripper by him, and I think that would be really, that's something that's going to get showed up on Monday. But and I'll harp on it about it again. When Geelong did that awkward rush behind there and they got paid for deliberate, that's a sign of a defence that's really, really lacking a lot of confidence. That ball is coming in very, very hot when Freo are actually on the blast. So I think the defensive aspect from Geelong, when the ball's hitting the ground, they're getting absolutely demolished. Like, I'd love to find the stats if I can, but I reckon they're getting smashed in ground ball differential, particularly in that back half, and Freo are now capitalising. But it just felt like Burma a massive grind for Geelong, and they haven't played that great, but what are they now? 22 points, and they've got a fair bit of footy left to play, so who knows?
There's a lot to like about overall the way the game's been played. So it's been played at a breakneck pace right from the early going. Now, how often do we see that these games are really high scoring in the first half? Both teams go in at half time, put the clamps on when we come out in the second half. But, I mean, hopefully we see a little bit more of that fast footy, because when Freo were good last year, it's exactly what they did. When they struggled, they were so slow to move the ball.
And I think this is like, I was coached by Justin Longmuir for a few years at West Coast. Very, very offensive coach. And I just feel with the way they're playing, kind of feels now he's, a handful of, just shy of a handful of years now for Freo. They're starting to play his brand of football. The big thing that Justin Longmuir taught back in the day was to always try and get the ball corridor side, because it just gives your forwards a lot more of an opportunity. Now, I always loved it when a senior coach was a forward, because they actually knew exactly how the ball wanted to come in. But you just see that whenever they get the opportunity, they just turn that fat side of the ground, just opens it right up. You've probably seen Geelong when they've gone inside 50. Brim, I'd be curious to know your thoughts on this as well. It just feels like the entries are a lot more skinny, and they've just struggled to get, I guess, real clean shots on goal. But for Freo-wise, it's an exciting brand.
The best way to go inside forward 50 is when you can get a player clear. Time and space, it's a forward handball, and we've seen Fremantle do that so many times today, that if someone's a metre behind, you can hear them breathing, you can hear the footsteps, you sort of go, oh, I've got a kick. But as soon as there's one extra handball and you've got 4 or 5 metres, and you can just drop those eyes, or you can go skinny side, you can go open side. It's a defender's nightmare. I think Geelong got themselves back in that game a little bit through clearances as well. In the first quarter, 11 clearances, Geelong 16 Fremantle. Geelong turned that around in the second quarter, 11 clearances to 9 Fremantle. So started winning the ball in the centre bounces, around the boundary throw-ins, and that gave them first use where they could set up the ground as well. So hopefully Fremantle can keep it up, because we've seen a pretty good brand of football so far.
Well, it goes back to that grind, right? I think the hit-out count is 32 to Freo's favour, to Geelong 16. So I think the message is, guys, you're not going to get it on a platter as a midfield. You've got to just find a way to grind it out. It just felt like they were a bit more, I guess, first to it and a bit more reactive with their feet.
So 33-point lead to Freo at quarter time. It is 22 at half time. The thoughts of Boomer Harvey and Cal Sinclair with you at half-time. Joel Peterson, Andrew Mays calling the action for you on ABC Sport this afternoon. 2 games to come still tonight. The NBL is underway as well. Game 2 in that playoff series between the South East Melbourne Phoenix and Adelaide. We'll keep you across that throughout the second half. Of course, the Wildcats coming up tonight for our Perth audience. They'll be in action against the Sydney Kings in Game 2 of that series. So a big night of hoops. The F1's on. Of course, the Asia Cup for the women as well. So plenty to keep you abreast of. And the other side of half-time, as well as the second half here from Geelong. Dockers by 22 points. We'll see the second half on the other side of the latest from ABC News.
Hello, this is ABC News with David Rowlands. White House AI czar David Sachs says the US should declare victory and get out of its war on Iran. It's a rare instance of a prominent figure in President Donald Trump's administration calling for an exit from the Iran conflict. He says the US has degraded Iran's military capabilities and should now try to find the off-ramp. The US and Israel launched their joint aerial attack on Iran on February the 28th, and Iran has responded with strikes on Israel and other countries in the Middle East hosting US bases. The consumer watchdog will meet with petrol companies next week amid concerns that consumers are paying too much at the bowser. The Australian Competition and Consumer Commission has written to businesses, including 7-Eleven, Ampol and BP, seeking information about recent price hikes. The war in the Middle East has seen the price of oil pass $100 US a barrel. However, the ACCC says some petrol prices appear to have risen too quickly, and penalties will apply if consumer laws have been breached. A rights group says Cuba has released 2 political prisoners under a deal brokered by the Vatican. It follows an announcement from the communist island nation earlier this week that it will release more than 50 political prisoners. It comes as Cuba's president says talks are underway with the Trump administration as the country grapples with a massive energy crisis under a US oil embargo. This woman's husband is one of the released prisoners who was jailed 5 years ago for taking part in anti-government protests.
A lot of time has passed and the child, thank goodness my husband is going to be able to see his son enter school for the first time, and I feel good. I have him by my side now.
A 44-year-old inmate has died after being found unresponsive in his cell at Bunbury Regional Prison in WA's southwest. The man is believed to have suffered a medical episode. He received first aid from staff and ambulance crews before being taken to hospital, where he was later declared dead. Police say preliminary reports do not indicate any suspicious circumstances. A report will be prepared for the coroner. An investigation is underway after a man was found dead inside a home in central western New South Wales, along with a woman who was critically injured. They were discovered in the Wellington home at around 8 o'clock this morning after reports of a concern for welfare. The man was believed to be aged in his 70s, as is the woman. She was treated at the scene before being airlifted to hospital, where she remains in a critical condition. Officers conducted an extensive search of the area and arrested a 30-year-old man in a fast food outlet. He was taken in for questioning. The Northern Territory's Chief Minister says she'll be meeting with federal government ministers next week to discuss funding to repair infrastructure damage by flooding in the NT. Floodwaters have subsided in Katherine, where homes and shops are damaged, while major flood warnings are still in place for the Daly and Georgina rivers, as well as the Eyre Creek. Leah Finocchiaro says it's too early to know the full extent of the damage across Northern Territory communities.
I will be travelling to Canberra tomorrow to meet with the Infrastructure Minister and the Treasurer. These are obviously big topics and major infrastructure will be required, but I can confidently say to Territorians that the Territory Government will do the fair share.
A trial of ticketless travel will start on several Victorian train lines from Monday, allowing commuters to pay for travel with their smartphones, debit or credit cards. The tap-and-go technology will be available for full fares on the Metro Craigieburn and Upfield lines, as well as the regional Ballarat and Seymour V-line routes. The trial will last until the end of April, and there's no set date for when it will be rolled out statewide. Public Transport Minister Gabrielle Williams says the public trial will help ensure that there's full confidence in the tap-and-go technology.
We've taken a progressive approach to the rollout of this new technology to make sure that we're minimising disruptions for Victorian passengers as we do it, building confidence and ultimately giving us the safest pathway to switching on a very significant change to our public transport network.
Indonesian MP Andreas Hugo Pereira has strongly condemned an acid attack on a government official in Jakarta on Thursday. The attack on Andre Yunus, the Deputy Coordinator of the Commission for Missing Persons and Victims of Violence, was carried out by an unidentified person. Mr Pereira says police must immediately conduct an investigation to uncover the perpetrator and the motive behind what he's described as a brutal and deeply inhumane attack.
There's lyrics in here that I don't want anybody to ever see.
Creative Types is back for a new season with me, Virginia Trioli.
A ridiculous amount of fun. Fantastic.
Thursday nights at 8:30 p.m. on ABC TV and streaming on ABC iView.
Hi, it's Mackenzie Arnold.
I'm Caitlin Ford.
It's Alana Kennedy.
Hi, I'm Claire Hunt from the Matildas.
Get behind the Tillies with ABC Sport for the AFC Women's Asian Cup Australia 2026.
Go the Tillies!
Live and ad-free on ABC Listen.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Back of the stoppage this time. Clean pick up by Martin. Not so much the kick by Holmes, who was pushed off it. Myers onto it. Outside attacking 50. Dinky little kick is lovely with the left. And he finds Manor. In he comes. 40 metres out. And he hits that beautifully as well. Makes
it 3.
Johnson on the front point of the square for the Dockers. Nice entry. Amos the target. Gets out the back. Young's there. Paddles it to Voss. 15 out from goal for Freo. Voss is held up again. Ball into dispute. Dudley does the roving. And he kicks the goal.
Humphreys, he went inboard. Now Dudley should have been tripped. Didn't get the free kick. Hand pass over the top to Reid, who had a nice afternoon this time last year and has his first of the afternoon. What a finish that one is.
Machine Mullen to take it from the outer side for Geelong. Moves it on that right boot. Kicks deep inside 50. Dangerfield rises inside the 50. Hands it off to Cameron. Weaves his way through and kicks his seconds.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Half time at Kardinia Park is the Dockers 11-8-74. Leading Geelong 8-4-52. Of course, the earlier game today, the Western Bulldogs by 81 points over the Giants. Later tonight, Sydney and Brisbane. You can grab that game on ABC Listen. Brett Sprigg, who's doing the double up there in Sydney today, is calling the league, the Savo and the footy tonight. Daniel Garb, Alicia Eva, Joel Padfall and Declan Byrne, your call team for that one. For most of you, on ABC Radio, you'll be getting Collingwood and Adelaide at the MCG. You can grab that game on the Listen app as well, no matter where you are. Matt Clinch, Lauren Borden, Nathan Burke, Mark Murphy and Ian Cohen calling that game for you. Big Sunday of footy as well on ABC Sport 2 as we close out round 1 in this season. And big result for the Bulldogs earlier today. Aaron Norton kicking 6 and putting the Giants flat after their round 1 win. So that's, or their opening round win, I should say. That's puts the Giants back in the pack a little bit after they really burst out of the blocks earlier on. We do have Boomer Harvey and Cal Sinclair with us today. Joel Peterson and Andrew Mays with you. Now, Boomer, tomorrow, North Melbourne and Port Adelaide at Docklands. We will be there on ABC Sport. You can get that game on ABC Listen. For our South Australian audience, you'll have it on ABC Radio Adelaide, South Australia and Broken Hill. And 7 minutes ago, North Melbourne has put up a post on social media. This season, the southern end at Docklands for all North Melbourne home games will be named after the 5-time Sid Barker medalist, premiership player and VFL-AFL games record holder Brent Boomer Harvey. It's going to be called the Boomer End.
I thought they were keeping that secret until tomorrow.
Very, very cool indeed.
Well, that's not going to... No one's going to turn up tomorrow now. Watch that, are they? It's all done. Don't even have to go. No, I'm looking forward to it, actually. It's nice. I went out there yesterday and took a couple of photos and, we've had some legends that's been named after at our football club. It was the Dennis Pagan end. We've had the Wayne Shimmerbush end, the Keith Gregg end. And, they asked me if it was okay to name it after me. And I said, yeah, of course. What they did do, though, they asked if I wanted to be the Brent Harvey or the Boomer end. Yeah, and I actually didn't know. And I didn't care too much, to be honest with you. I sort of did a little bit of a poll with the family and it come back 50-50. So I deliberately didn't respond to their email, just see what they would come up with.
Yeah, right.
And they've done the Boomer end.
Are you happy with where it's landed?
I was happy either way. It's just it's the honour to go to the football. I'll take the family out there tomorrow and have a look. We've actually got a past player day as well, which that's my job at the football club. I'm a past player engagement officer, Cal.
Can I ask you a question?
Can I ask
you a question? Do you think you could actually still play? Be really honest.
No, not right. Not right now. I did go for a run.
Why are you nodding your head? Why?
I'm saying no. Hell no. I know if I answer this question that there's going to be crap to come from it. So
I'll give you a month training. Do you reckon you can go out there and get 20?
Absolute 20. What, go off at half time, Cal? No, I'm only joking. It's a tough game.
Premiership player for the mighty Trentham Saints in the Maryborough Castlemaine District League last year as well. Of course, Luke Jackson was there at Princess Park in Maryborough on grand final day
to Jackson out there
to watch proceedings. I saw Josh Tracy at the Bendigo grand final on the same day and was just struck by what an enormous man he is. And he's
what was Luke Jackson doing there, Boomer?
I can answer this. So Luke Jackson, of course, and Kelsey Brown So this is a long-winded story. Kelsey's sister Maddie's partner Harry plays for Carisbrook. Carisbrook were playing Trentham.
There you go.
That's why Luke was there.
Yes. There you go.
How you know the family tree that intimately?
Yeah,
I think we need to go deep dive into that.
I spend a lot of time with Kelsey through other sporting commitments,
Fair
and
enough.
I actually did call a game that Harry played in last year in that league, and I called a game for Trentham, and before you were playing there, and I was shattered. I didn't get to double up while you were on the books. So we were just
nice part of the world down there.
Oh,
beautiful.
Trentham.
A little bit fresh every now and then, but they turned it on for us. The weather was beautiful.
I think
Not the first time I've heard that. I've got a friend that lived in Trentham as well and couldn't speak high enough of the place. Moved there 12 months ago.
Beautiful.
Loves it.
What's the
Chris Anstey runs the pub up there.
The pub, He's
The old Victoria Titans centre, Chris Anstey. Yeah, right.
Yep.
Okay.
It's about the coldest place in Victoria as well. Sort of Trentham is right up there with Omeo in terms of temperature. So for our West Australian audience, if this place you've never heard of, it is beautiful. But I'd take about 6 jumpers for the climate that you're.
I was up next to Omeo. I seen the Omeo turn-off last weekend.
Yep.
I went up to past Albury-Wodonga to a place called Corryong.
Yep.
Oh, yep.
And I did see the Omeo.
John Longmire country up there.
Corryong?
Corryong?
I thought he was...
Corowa.
No, he's
Corowa. Yeah, he's Corowa.
Yes. Yeah.
Another good part of the
His
world.
brother Bo owns a big
probably speaks to
farm
my
up there.
relationship. So
Absolutely. Speaking of the NBL, that playoff game between the South East Melbourne Phoenix and Adelaide 36ers is underway, 17-18 late in the opening term. The Wildcats are in action tonight, so potential closeout games in that series for both Adelaide. If they win, they're through to the grand final. For the Kings tonight, if they win, they're through to the grand final. No Dylan Windler for the Wildcats this evening, which is a big loss for them.
Who wins, Joel?
Overall,
Yep.
I feel like the Sydney Kings are the best team in it.
Yes.
Brian Gorgon, the coach of the year, the 7-time coach of the year. They're going to be mighty hard to dislodge. There is no doubt about that. So,
coaches with a lot of passion, Brian Gordon.
Yep,
So that's what
he's
I
an
like
absolute
about him.
ripper. Any F1 fans here?
Kind of.
Well, I'm gonna play spoilers, so it's a bit of a, if you don't want to know the result, look away now. The sprint earlier today, George Russell won that for Mercedes in China. Oscar Piastri was 6th. So we'll keep you across all the sports. Second half underway here. Dockers by 22 points. Cats with the opening clearance. The Dockers will win it back straight away.
Back through the middle they go as well. Young with a looping hand pass over to Jackson just to show all of his athletic efforts. There's about a 25-metre left-handed handball out to the wing to Erasmus. And Erasmus uses it nicely, even further this time to Switkowski.
So they've kept up the same thing. There was a forward handball there, and there was an inside to outside as well, and they've got the ball going inside 50.
Switkowski kicks into the forward pocket. Jackson wanders down, almost took the mark. Did the work at ground level as well. And now Edwards is lying over it. He's called for a ball up. And they will have a stoppage, the Dockers, deep inside attacking 50. 11-8-74, 8-4-52 the Cats. So the margin 22 points in favour of Freo. Jackson from the ruck, grabs it, snaps it, it's across the face. In fact, it drifts all the way across the face and out of bounds on the full. But he's got it almost at half-back, in the middle, left-handed hand pass, almost took the mark, then he's taken it from the ruck and kicked it on the full. So it's been a fair minute and a half for Luke Jackson.
His spread is elite.
A big unicorn out of the Dockers.
Oh, it's a free kick.
And Clark got over the top of Blitzarves and gives away the free kick.
You just don't need to do that. You just need to spoil that out of bounds and just reset the play because...
And 297 for Mark Blitzarves. Become the 8th Cat to get to 300 in a couple of weeks' time. Moves to kick high up the line. Neil underneath the pack. They all came crashing over the top of him. Off hands, Myers and Holmes combine. Holmes kicks inside forward 50. Dempsey from the back. Did the roving after he brought it down. Toe poked it forward. Jack Henry's been deployed up front. He got a tackle over the shoulder. And Henry will have a set shot of 40 metres on a slight angle to the left of centre.
What's he doing there?
What is he doing? It's been interesting though. I love watching the backs kick for goal. They always look, and when you miss, they think it's easy. So there we go.
What is his career goal tally, actually?
Jack Henry, 24 goals, 13. This game, number 166 for him today. Been a while between drinks, though. Hasn't kicked a goal since round 17 of 2023. He's on the approach here, and he looks like he hasn't missed a beat. There might be no Ollie Henry up front, but brother just walks down and says, I can do it too. And Jack Henry pulls the Cats back to within 20 points. That margin is at 16. 11-8-74. The Cats with the first of this term, as they did in the second. 9-4-58. We played 2.5 minutes. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Cal, most goals at Geelong are kicking it. They've got to work pretty hard for them. That was just a scrappy piece of play. Ball comes in, ground ball. A little bit, he was probably lucky with a high free kick, and a little bit wasn't a great tackle by Warner, I think it was.
But it just shows the importance of actually being first to it when the ball hits the ground. So it puts the defence of Fremantle under significant pressure. But I'll tell you what, his kicking action, I think he's practiced that
beautiful,
a fair
wasn't
bit
it?
Of training. Yeah.
Did you find that stat at half time? The ground ball's in forward?
+7.
+7.
Yeah, free OR.
Jackson from the ruck again, tapped it and then won it himself. Kicks inside, attacking 50. No mark taken by O'Sullivan. He's got work to do at ground level. Voss becomes the tackler. He's going nowhere. We'll have another ball up. Again, deep inside. Freo's attacking 50. 20 out from goal. Umpire looking for a couple of ruckmen to have a go. Jackson makes his way down there, palms it off. And Bolton is tackled by Humphreys. He's going nowhere as well.
Guess who's in defence now for the Cats? Jack Henry. He's run all the way down the other end. So maybe just a momentary opportunity to get up front. Jackson taps it out toward the boundary line. Bolton's escorted over by Tom Stewart. He's thrown back in 25 metres around from the Dockers goal. Kicking to the Barwon River end here in this third term. Joel Peterson, Andrew Mays calling the action for you. Boom Harvey, Cal Sinclair, your experts. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Later tonight, Sydney, Brisbane, Adelaide, Collingwood. A couple of great games to take your pick off. Jackson did the roving, handballed it straight into the head of Patrick Voss, bounced its way back to Sarong, to Young, whips it around the corner on the left boot and finishes beautifully. He is going to be such a welcome return for Fremantle this year, Hayden Young. And he gives us a glimpse into his class there with his first of the game and pushes that lead back out to 22 for the Dockers. 12-8, plays 9-4. Nearly 5 minutes played in this third term.
Well, just the ability by Caleb Sarong to stand up in a tackle and be strong through the core and shape his way and give the ball off on his own terms. Finds Young in a lot of space, a lot of time. I don't know where his opponent was. And left footer, beautiful finish. But well done, Caleb Sarong.
They've kicked a lot of goals today, Freo, kind of in that sort of junky kind of time where the ball's hitting the ground in a lot of contest situations. So, I don't know, it'd be an interesting review for the defensive team for Geelong after this week.
Back in the middle, as is Jackson, and he grabs it out again, gets the hand pass away. He's having an afternoon. Off to Sarong, off his left. That's a good kick too to left half forward. Brayshaw can turn and go. Chips over the top. He's got a man out wide. It's Amos. He's 52 from goal. Walks back. Reid offered a lead short. He's still short on if he wants him. Right on the logo at the 50-metre line, and Amos says, Reid, gonna have a crack. The umpire says, hurry up. In he comes, Jai Amos. He does have a crack all the way to the goal line. Oh, thought he might have to go upstairs for a second there. Umpire happy enough to call that touched on the line. It was a lovely, accurate kick.
Yeah, you've got to know your distance, though. That's a bit of a pet hate of mine. You've got to know your distance. If you're not confident in kicking it, you've got to go to the top of the square, or you've got to find another one a little bit closer where they can have a shot on goal. It just gives Geelong the opportunity to have the ball back in their hands.
Really a legitimate chance necessarily, and wasn't a layup either. Got really caught between there. The Cats run it outside. Up toward half forward now. O'Sullivan off to Myers. Quick transition from Geelong. Myers finds Martin on the edge of the 50. He's got Manor, who's loose inside the front half. Now Edwards has created some space. Comes up short to Myers. Not the distance required. Around the body. Pokes it to the pocket. Cameron's there. Beautiful ground ball get. Goes around the corner. Top of the square to Neal. What about the work of Big Jezza below his knees to hook it around the body? And Shannon Neal was in position 1A. He marks it 8 metres out, point blank range. He goes back 10 metres and he will thump this into the Joel Selwood stand for his second. And we are trading blows early in this third term. Cats kick one, Dockers kick one, Cats answer back. That lead is 17 points. the way of Fremantle. 12-9-81. Geelong 10-4-64 early in this third term. And if we had any concerns about the clamps being put on so far in this third quarter, we haven't seen that.
We can talk about the class of just Jeremy Cameron there. Just keep the ball live and just keep it in play and keep the Freo defence under pressure. But for me, it was O'Sullivan kind of about 70 or 80 out. Just didn't panic, Boomer, you know. Just kind of would have been easy for him to just put it on the boot. But he actually just gave himself, tested a tackle and just gave one handball right there in the corridor part of the ground. And it just gave, I guess, Geelong an opportunity. But not taking away from Jeremy Cameron's brilliance.
Is it too harsh to say that that's the result of Jaya Miss having a long shot at goal?
No, it's not.
It's gone full length of the ground and they've scored a goal.
Jackson
had the same issue yesterday.
Works the 1-2, gets it out wide to Erasmus, kicks inside 50, intercepting mark is taken. Oh, the umpire's called play on. Well, Geelong had to keep going there, and they're outnumbered. Clark comes bursting through, throws it on his left boot to a hot spot. Amos from a couple deep. Off to De Koning, who had a fumble, was almost dispossessed. Atkins in over the top, trying to lock it up. Guthrie, hand pass to Bruin, who's in traffic. Only just got boot to ball, almost caught holding it. Switkowski can't break the Atkins tackle. I mean, he can. And it'll be a ball up, 40 out directly in front of the Freo goal.
They missed about 3 kicks then, the umpires.
So it'll be tossed up, Jackson and Edwards. The first game it does well, knocks it down to Atkins for the Cats. Kicks into the centre of the ground, bouncing ball. McVie and Close both there. McVie had support in the form of Erasmus, but Close didn't give up on it. Surged it forward. Cameron came up to meet it. Handball flicked over his head. Nice little blind turn by McVie to win it back for the Dockers. Diagonal kick to the front point of the square. Dudley spent it before he had it. Atkins slides in. Cameron feeds it by hand through the centre now to Bruin. And to the run of Smith. Smith kicks inside the 50. And Pearce read it beautifully off the boot. Knew it was going over the head of Martin and that Neal couldn't come back to get it. Pearce marks 40 out from the defensive goal for Freo.
It was actually excellent split there by the Geelong forwards. It's just the kick.
Well, that kick's no good either from Pearce. Turns it straight over to O'Connor. Was looking to go inboard to Cameron. He's 70 out from goal. He'll put it to the hot spot, about 20 out. Martin in front position. He's given it back to the person who kicked it to him. Pearce takes the intercepting mark. Across the face of goal he goes with his next disposal. Now Chapman has it. Looking for a way out. One presents. It's short as well. Erasmus it was rather. Now to Chapman.
I think Shannon Neal doesn't mind sharing his thoughts with the players up the ground, Maisie.
Looks inside. It was a poor kick too. Tanner Bruin comes in and intercepts right on the paint of 50.
Shannon Neal should check himself. He's also 75 metres away from the kicker. So, unless you get the Malcolm Blight Tory, maybe come up a little bit.
So, Tanner Bruin, this will take his best. He's had a good couple of weeks on return. He's going to go short anyway. And the man you cannot leave in any space whatsoever, Jeremy Cameron, comes up and takes a chest mark 15 metres away from Bruin.
Do the snap.
He'd get the distance from out. Yeah. 53 metres out.
So Erasmus on the mark. He's at 48. Jeremy Cameron, you feel, might use that man on the mark stand rule to his advantage here. Starts his approach. In he comes. Kicks across and hooks it. Hooks it badly. In fact, you don't see that often from Jeremy Cameron. Sneaks in for one behind. Margin back to 16 points in favour of the Dockers. We've played 11 minutes in this third term.
Quite the contrast between he and Amos, who went back off the long run about 30 metres. Cameron goes back about 8 steps and just lumbers in as he so often does. Such an effective setup. Free kick paid by the out-of-zone umpire here. It'll go to the Cats. Jack Henry, who kicked a goal earlier in the term. Up at left half forward. Stewart now in the centre of the ground. Pumps it inside the 50. Neal from the back. Got it! He came from 6 deep. He had eyes only for the football. And he imposed himself on the contest like a good full forward. Takes the mark 30 metres out. Slight angle to the right.
It's hard to compete when you get big guys like that. Just get a free run at it. Very hard to bring those big arms back down to earth.
Couple already for Neal in the game. One in the quarter. Comes in, sinks the shoe through it, and finishes beautifully. And pumps up the locals as well. He gets the Cats back to only 10 points in arrears with his third goal. And Shannon Neal could be set for such a big year, right at the tip of the spear for Geelong. 12-9-81 the Dockers. The Cats 11-5-71. 12 minutes gone in this third term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Boomer Harvey and Kel Sinclair.
They've made some silly mistakes, and that wasn't a mistake. That was just a fantastic mark by Neal. But things are starting to creep into their game where they're not going quick now. They're just trying to bite off a little bit more than they can chew with their feet. And Geelong are just playing to their strength. Just keep doing what they're never out of the game, are they? No. Geelong are just never out of the game, and this is the thing that Fremantle need to be onto.
The closest they've been this since the 11-minute mark of the opening term. So Geelong creeping their way back into this one. Darcy wins it down. Young, he was slung off his kick. It's a high ball up and down the pipe. Up high was Blitzarves, couldn't complete it. Hand passed only as far as Erasmus. He's got one arm pinned. Umpire says that's enough for me. Holding the ball. Free kick goes away the Cats. It's a short kick as well. Finds Dempsey on the outer wing. Oh, that might be 52. Erasmus, he was trying to get back into the zone, but just drifted inside the protected area. And Dempsey will have a chance to bring the Cats back within a kick.
This has happened so quick. This will be their fourth goal in the quarter, if he's lucky enough to kick it. So Fremantle's won, but it just happened so quick. They've got themselves back in the game.
Dempsey comes in. He'll kick from just inside 50. As good as directly in front. Steadies and goals. No, he doesn't.
He liked it off the boot too. He put the arm up.
I went off him.
You watched the kicker, Maisie?
I did. Yeah. I did. I watched the kicker, and the crowd liked it behind as well, and it drifted left late and through for one behind. So the margin back to 9 points in favour of the Dockers.
Clark brings it back into play. Fisted down by Tracy. Sarong steams through. He's brought down by a couple of Cats. That pressure is really starting to tell for Geelong now. Justin Longmuir has spoken about Fremantle need to apply what they do more consistently throughout games, and they've had one of those lapses here in this third term. O'Connor dribbles it inside forward 50 for Geelong. Close held off it. Oh. Cameron comes swooping past. Dribbling one now for Manor in the pocket. To Neal out of the ground. He sockers it out of the air on the goal line. And Shannon Neal's got his fourth. And the locals are jumping. 3 points game after Freo kicked 8 in the opening term. The Cats have kicked 9 goals to 4 after quarter time, and they now trail by less than a kick. 12-9-81. Geelong 12-6-78. 4 goals, 2 in the quarter already for Geelong. 3 of them to Neal. We're only 16 minutes in.
Boomer, I just figure with Freo, they've only played really one style today, which is fast and go hard. Like, you've got to play total football. You're under a fair bit of pressure now. Can you slow the play down? Yep. Play long down the line kicks. Just get a little bit more control back in the game. I don't know what your thoughts on that would be.
No, absolutely. You need to control the game and play it on your terms. Fremantle, you're exactly right, Cal. They just need to get the game back on their terms. A bit of stop-start now.
Yeah.
This will help as well with a free kick from the stoppage in the middle.
They'll know when they can go fast. It just happens. That's instinct football.
Kick from Sarong up to Tracy. Takes a big mark. And I wouldn't have wanted to be Lawson Humphries on that occasion, stationed in front of him, knowing that the big steam train was coming.
So he'll be kicking this from about 56 metres out. Is he lassoing or is he having a shot?
No, he's having a shot here.
Okay.
He's got the journey if he hits it pure enough. Tracy. In he comes. Will kick from 55. Lays into it. It's a little bit thin. And it's out to the right forward pocket. Punched away. It's actually kept in. Switkowski. Back to Sarong. A wobbler inside attacking 50. Now Stewart. Off one step. High ball. Risky ball. Young stationed under it. Lovely spoil in the end by Bruin, or Clark it might have been. But Freo back onto it now. Young just got his hands free to Johnson, pushed off one, hand pass back to Warner, was looking still for Young, who missed it, had a fresh airy. Now the Cats are almost away. Myers onto it. He's pushed off it. And by way of play on, Clark backtracking, did nicely with the hands to McVie, and out further wider still. And this will work for Wagner, who's about 10 metres inside the boundary line, right half back, and says, let's settle things down.
This is exactly what they need to do. Just slow the play down, play long down the line for a few minutes.
Freo by 3 points. Cats with 4 goals to 1 in the quarter. They are surging at the moment, Geelong. Long kick to half forward, turnover again. Cats on the intercept. Stewart's handball infield. Set a task for Bruin, so Stewart went back and won it back. Now Humphreys to Myers, on to Manor. Manor inside the 50 to Martin, who comes sliding up at the footy, lunges forward and pulls it in millimetres off the turf. 45 from home. He's got a kick to give the Cats the lead.
Geelong are doing exactly to Fremantle what Fremantle did to Geelong in the first 15 minutes of the game. They're playing a fast brand of football by hand and then dropping the eyes, going inside forward 50 and making the defenders defend.
Of course, he kicked 4 goals in a quarter last year as well, Jack Martin. He's known for his impact on the games. He kicks from right on the 50. Neil tries to keep it in. Umpire says it was across the line before he did, despite a valiant effort. 2-point game, 79 plays 81. Freo led by as many as 33 in the first half. The Cats have clawed their way back.
Rasmus around the outer wing.
Beautiful kick.
Lovely kick too to O'Driscoll, who takes it in the sunshine, which is only covering half of Gadinia Park as it goes down this afternoon. O'Driscoll long inside attacking 50. Tracy worked his way to the front. Oh, what about Dudley, the front and centre? His snap is just away to the right-hand side.
That was nice, though.
Their front and centre work's been pretty good today, Freo, particularly when they're going in the forward half. Sarong's hit that contest really well. Dudley's done it a few times. 3
points the margin in favour of the Dockers.
Bruin brings it in. The Cats will come across the defensive 50. It's Jeremy Cameron who marked it in the back pocket. Comes out to Bruin, a kick up the boundary line. Doing well, Clark, to knock it away from Atkins. And now Wagner kicks to full forward. Tracy's got 3 to beat. Brought it down for Switkowski. Butted up, couldn't knock it on to Dudley. Zach Guthrie comes up to meet it. He's tackled, dispossessed. Jackson, Switkowski, 40 out from the Dockers' goal. Bolton now on the edge of the 50. Wheels around. Shea Bolton unloads a bomb right to the behind line where it fades. Stewart's got to be careful he doesn't come back around the post here. He marked it in between the goal post and the behind post. He almost came back through the goal square. He was directed not to by the umpire. Now, whether he should or not...
He was definitely thinking about it, wasn't he?
Yep. And the umpire said, don't do that. I'm not sure they should be really providing that kind of advice, but the Cats get it outside the defensive 50.
Yeah,
it's not the umpire's job to do that.
No, correct. Smith has it now on the wing. His kick just... overcooked it a little for Blitzarves, but Smith kept on running to provide some support. Blitzarves knocked it back to his advantage. Hand pass forward to Dempsey and back to Blitzarves, who's wrapped up as he got to his feet at right half forward. He jumped straight into the ruck as well against Darcy. Jackson's out the back here. Darcy wanted down looking for Jackson, who turned tackler on Holmes. It's wrapped up, Erasmus going nowhere, and the players will get to their feet for another stoppage.
I always find that interesting. Why is an umpire giving you particularly when you take a set shot in front of goal, giving you the line?
It happens in basketball a lot when they sort of trying to avoid a backcourt violation. The umpires sometimes say you need to get it across. It's sort of just not part of the remit. Atkins at the stoppage at half forward for the Cats. Frees himself, kicks inside forward 50, bounces off the chest of Martin to Clark. Handball back to Martin for Geelong inside forward 50. Walker's there to mop it up. Johnson to Warner. They're calm in the crisis here, the Dockers. Hemmed inside their defensive 50, and Geelong with a real run on in this game. Kick outside the arc. Darcy takes it, not paid the mark.
He was 3 deep.
He was belatedly.
It was 6 pairs of hands on the same footy, and he's claimed it.
So Darcy from in line with the back edge of the centre square, kicks up the line. It's bashed away from Tracy. It spills to Bolton. Handball over the top to Switkowski. Now to Dudley. He's got O'Driscoll on. He doesn't need him. He kicked a little 8-metre ball up toward Voss. Went back and got it. Rolled into the open goal. And Isaiah Dudley kicks a really nice one. And the Dockers get a little bit of breathing room in this third term. There was sheer will and work rate from Isaiah Dudley. And he kicks his third of the contest, 13-10-88. The Cats 12-7, 79, 22 played, third quarter, Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
It was an unbelievable goal in the end. They made it a little bit harder than what it should have been, but there's one particular thing there, the 1 metre test, Cal. An old coach used to tell me you get judged on by what the opposition and you do when you're 1 metre away from the ball, and Dudley, he accelerated through the football there, and the Geelong player probably tried to take a little bit of a sidestep and finished it with a beautiful goal.
Also, 2 Geelong players lost their feet as well. But if you were the Geelong crowd, you would be filthy because no way that was a mark to Sean Darcy on the wing.
Back in the middle, Jackson into the ruck this time, wins the clearance as well, off to Young, who belts it long inside, attacking 50. Amos tries to get a run at it. He was spoiled at the last minute. Great tackle, though. Dudley goes in, fishes it out, and then he's tackled. Going nowhere. We'll have a ball up footy out directly in front.
10 clearances for Luke Jackson.
I like this game today, Dudley. 10 possessions, 3 goals, 2.
Oh, Brayshaw ran beautifully through the stoppage. Gathered. Was he caught high up by a set play on? Yes, he was.
Oh, wow.
Out of zone umpire. Called it.
But that is the reflection of Geelong's setup there at that stoppage. They allowed the front of that stoppage to be completely opened up, and Brayshaw comes through and penetrates and impacts that contest. And what does it do? Puts Geelong under severe amount of pressure, and next thing you know, that pressure turns into a high tackle, and now what's happening? He's going to hit the scoreboard.
He'll kick from 35 out directly in front. They hadn't kicked a goal in 18 minutes. Now they've got 2 in a minute.
Well done.
A couple of steadiers for the Dockers. And the margin is back out to 15 points. 12-7-79 the Cats. 14-10-94 the Dockers. We've played 24 minutes in this third term.
Cal, you've been big on this today around stoppages and in particular closer to goal. Is it a structure thing for Geelong or is it an urgency thing?
At ground level, it's definitely an urgency thing. But that situation there, Brayshaw just said, you know what, if you're going to leave the front of that stoppage open, we need to score. I'm going to penetrate that as hard as I can. And what happened? He did it. And then it just puts defenders under pressure. And you go, shit, sorry.
Sorry. You saw me say both of those, to be fair.
I'll take myself out.
It's only round 1, folks.
Tim Verrill, please go behind this week.
Just a little bit of round 1 rust from Cal Sinclair.
We know what you meant, Cal. It's exactly what we all would have said.
The low drive.
Umpire waves play on there for Cal. Brayshaw at the stoppage. He got taken down. And Bailey Smith wins a free kick at the restart. The Cats now need to answer the call. Freo have kicked the last 2. Smith sends the Cats inside the 50. Dangerfield trying to work his way through the contest. The Cats lot to boot among all that. It's Clark. Now Dangerfield hemmed in along the boundary line. Closest little toe poke almost worked. Warner's dragged down. And we will have a ball up inside forward 50. Jai Clark goes to retrieve his right shoe. Geelong 12-7-79. Freo 14-10-94. 25 and a half gone here in this third term. Cameron doing the ruck work against Jackson. Deep in defence for the Dockers. Chapman tries to screw it out of there. Humphries is up to meet it. Hands it off to Smith. 40 out from goal. Clark's got his boot back on. Uses it to good effect, but misses to the left. Minor score. That margin back to 14 now.
It's a really important time for Fremantle in this game. You need to go into three-quarter time at this ground, or on any ground, but in particular here against a hostile environment, in front convincingly, and that's two or three goals. 3 minutes to go. They don't want to leak any junk time goals.
Chapman long kick out of defence. Guthrie flew, couldn't bring it down. Dudley tried to get the kick away, didn't quite get his boot to it. Guthrie in over the top. Oh, he's going to be pinged here for holding the ball too. Went back to fetch it, Dudley, after it missed his boot. And then he's paid for the secondary infringement. Guthrie with the free kick, puts it to the hot spot. Dangerfield! 3 deep, but almost just fell in his hands as those in front parted ways.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. You can call them junk time goals, you can call them red time goals, as a lot of teams do, but you don't want these ones against Geelong. And you just give them that little sniff.
Well, they're pursued with him out of the goal square, and at an important time of the game, Danger's going to line up to just reduce that margin.
Important kick this, 20 out, directly in front, he kicks it. And the Cats are back to within 8 points. This is toing and froing. What a game of footy we've got here at Kardinia Park. 14-10-94 the Dockers. The Cats 13-8-86, 27 played third term on ABC footy.
Just his third touch for the day, Patrick Dangerfield, but when he flies for that football, we've seen two really good marks. And the other one, let's face it, he probably should have gone back and kicked the goal as well, so would have hit the scoreboard a couple of times. But a really important time. We spoke about those junk time goals. Fremantle just got to do everything they can now to hold on for the next couple of minutes. They don't need to kick another goal, they just need to hold on.
Tell you what, though, you don't see Patrick Dangerfield get off the ground too much, and you might screenshot that one this week, so I can actually jump to the boys in the change rooms.
A couple of times for danger, as Boomer alluded to. Back in the middle, Edwards wins the tap this time. Quickly, it's dragged into a secondary stoppage. Sarong can't get free. Holmes with a game-high 26 for the Cats. Jackson with 22 and 10 clearances for the Dockers. They get the break here again. Switkowski and Guthrie collide at half-forward for Fremantle. And the Cats will win it back through Mullen. It's actually going to be a free kick off the ball, and it'll come to Voss. So Voss hasn't hit the score sheet this afternoon. He's been well held by O'Sullivan. He's got it 65 metres from home. Kicks to the pocket. Target Amos. Another nearly moment for him. It spills to Sarong off the step off the left. He misses to the left-hand side. 9 points the lead for Freo. 29 minutes gone, third term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Fremantle have got to be a tiny bit better there. They had Luke Jackson on Myers just sitting in the forward pocket. You've got to isolate that matchup and kick the ball in the air.
Boss was very slow to react then. He turned boundary side.
Stewart short to Myers. Myers outside a defensive 50 to right half back for the Cats. Young's in there, ricocheted off his boot, coming the other way. O'Driscoll was strong in the contest, gave it to Reid. His hand pass, little loopy, might have copped a hand on the way through. Chapman did well to get it back to Warnock, goes inside attacking 50 on his left to the hot spot. Stewart couldn't take the mark, has to do some work at ground level. Amos over the top, Dudley's lurking. There he is, Murphy Reid. Oh, it's across the face for one behind, was snapping from 20 out. Probably should have done better there in the end. 14-12-96, plays 13-8, 29 gone.
I think he had Hayden Young there as a little feedback as well, and Young wasn't happy after Murphy missed the goal. He's given him a little spray, and probably so he should have.
Experienced heads getting involved inside the defensive 50 with half a minute left in this third term for the Cats. Henry, Holmes, Cameron, now Stewart, now to O'Sullivan. Cats have kicked 5 goals in the quarter. They've got back to only 2 points in arrears. Now they can launch something. Guthrie right up the middle. Edwards the target. Warner's there for the Dockers. Seconds ticking away in this third term as it draws to an end. And what a game we've got for the first at Kinnear Park this season. Fremantle had it out by 5 goals at quarter time. They held a 22-point lead at half time. The Cats came with an almighty rush in that term. They trailed by 2 points at the 19-minute mark. The Dockers then kicked the next 2. And the Cats able to finish off with the final goal of that term. And it is a 10-point margin as we turn for home. Geelong trying to bounce back from a loss last week. The first game for Fremantle this season. It's the Dockers 14-12-96 to the Cats 13-8. 86 with a quarter to play here at Kinnear Park. Goal kickers for the Dockers, 3 goals, 2 to Isaiah Dudley, 2 to Tracy, 2 to Bolton. Singles to Reid, Sarong, Brayshaw, Young, Amos, Jackson and O'Driscoll. For the Cats, 4 goals to Neil, 3 goals, 3 to Jeremy Cameron, 3 goals to Manor. They all came at the start of that second term. A goal to Jai Clark, a goal to Jack Henry, and one to Patrick Dangerfield, who has been rarely seen today, but has made his impact and his presence felt when the Cats have needed it. So they have fought their way back into this ball game, Geelong. We'll get a preview of Collingwood and Adelaide very shortly with Matt Clinch as well. A cracking final term coming up here at Kinnear Park. The Dockers by 10 as we head for home. You're listening to Saturday Footy on ABC Sports.
Rumours, cults, secret identities, and one of Australia's most baffling unsolved mysteries.
Something wasn't right.
It's the latest season of the Expanse podcast. Search for Expanse, the Nan Up 4 on ABC Listen.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Jackson did the roving, handballed it straight into the head of Patrick Voss, bounced its way back to Sarong, to Young, whips it around the corner on the left boot and finishes beautifully. O'Connor dribbles it inside forward 50 for Geelong. Close held off it. Cameron comes swooping past, dribbling one now for Manor in the pocket, to Neil out of the ground. He sockers it out of the air on the goal line, and Shannon Neal's got his fourth. Bashed away from Tracy, it spills to Bolton. Handball over the top to Switkowski. Now to Dudley. He's got O'Driscoll on. He doesn't need him. He kicked a little 8-metre ball up toward Voss. Went back and got it. Rolled into the open goal. And Isaiah Dudley kicks a really nice one.
Guthrie with the free kick. Puts it to the hot spot. Dangerfield! 3 deep. It almost just fell in his hands as those in front parted ways. Important kick this. 20 out directly in front. He kicks it. And the Cats are back to within 8 points.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio,
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
and ABC Listen.
The Cats have clawed their way back with 5 third-quarter goals. It's a 10-point game as we turn for home. The Dockers 14-12-96 to Geelong 13-8-86. 2 games tonight. Sydney and Brisbane at the SCG. Brett Sprigg, Daniel Garb, Joel Patfill, Alicia Eva and Declan Byrne have that one for you. There's no late changes in that game. For most of you on ABC Radio, you'll be heading to the MCG where Collingwood takes on Adelaide. The recent history between these two teams has been enthralling to give us a window into all that will unfold tonight. Let's go to Matt Clinch at the MCG. G'day, Clinchy.
Joel, good afternoon to you. It's been a long summer to reflect for the Adelaide Crows, to celebrate what they accomplished, but also focus on why they can improve and where it all went wrong. Third minor premiership last season, first finals appearance since 2017, but they failed to fire a shot in September and became the first side in 42 years to be knocked out in straight sets, having lost to both finals to Collingwood and Hawthorn. It leaves lingering questions about the Crows' ability to step up when it matters most, and can they continue to improve as they climb the ladder once more. Two-time premiership lion Cal Archie joins the Crows this season, alongside former rugby player Lachlan McAndrews, while 22-year-old Toby Murray joins brother Nick for his first game, looking to stretch Collingwood in defence. While the Magpies await at the MCG, they've beaten Adelaide since 2014 here at the MCG, so it hasn't been a happy hunting ground for the Crows. The Pies opened their account with a gritty 12-point win last week against the Saints, but they're still undersized in defence with no Darcy Moore and Jeremy Howe still missing. Dan McStay plays his 200th game. Matthew Nick says you never quite know what you're going to get with your first game of the season. Hopefully get a close one like you've got at Cardinia Park. Can't wait to bring it with you alongside Nathan Burke. Mark Murphy will be here, Lauren Borden and Ian Cohen. It's the Magpies taking on the Crows from the MCG.
Good on you, Clinchy. Looking forward to listening to that on the way home this evening. That should be a great game, both of our games. What a super Saturday of footy it's been. The Bulldogs doing it easily over the Giants earlier today. We've got a ripper here. The 2 games tonight, mouth-watering as well, ahead of a big Sunday to close out this round 1 in the 2026 AFL season. Joel Peterson and Andrew Mays with you. Cal Sinclair and Boomer Harvey running their eyes over things this afternoon. And Cal, the Cats have really fought their way back into this contest with 1 to play.
Absolutely. I think going into the third quarter, it's been, judged of the first 3, a pretty balanced performance from each from each side. Like I think Freo probably, their maturity is going to be tested now, Boomer, for the last 30 minutes of this game. I'm not too sure. I think it's either going to be a very, very long trip back to Perth or it's going to be a bloody tough one, to be honest. So these guys have now got a test up against one of the best clubs in the AFL. But Geelong, mate, full credit to them because, to be honest, like I think we were writing them off saying at quarter time going, it's going to be a very tough and long day for them. They looked very, very sluggish coming out of the gates, but perhaps, I don't know what it is, Boomer, maybe the weather's cooled a little bit. They're just getting a little bit more run back in their feet. They're feeling a little bit more settled. But I'll tell you what, Freo, massive 30 minutes to actually see where they're at. It's a tough road trip down here, but this 30 minutes could give them massive momentum going into the season.
Yeah, and I think we spoke at quarter time whether Fremantle could sustain this style of play for the whole 4 quarters. Well, they certainly did it for the first half, and I feel they dropped off a little bit in that quarter, mainly due to because Geelong had their hands on the football a little bit more than Fremantle. But if they can get that run back in their legs, they can break a line, they can get the ball into one-on-ones, I feel like Fremantle will run out and win this game. But Geelong was certainly much better in that quarter and played a lot like Fremantle did in the first half. Put run in their legs, broke lines, dropped their eyes going in forward 50. And I think we're in for a cracker last quarter.
Indeed we should be. We are underway here in this final term. Dockers by 10 as we venture into the unknown in this final quarter. Jackson and Edwards renew their battle in the middle. Atkins lays a great tackle on Young. The Cats surge it forward. Pearson Neal in the wrestle. Spills to ground inside defensive 50 for the Dockers. Cameron worries McDonald out of it. Goes back and gets it. Does Jezza. Clearing kick from Erasmus. Only as far as Holmes. Oh, he was almost off. He was almost off on the 50. Caleb Sarong absolutely thought he was. And Max Holmes has got it. Caleb Sarong stands 51 metres out on the mark. And the reigning best and fairest winner for Geelong. He's going to test his mettle here.
The man on the mark is standing outside 50. So this is going to be a huge kick if he can get the distance here.
He'll veer out to the right, use as much space as he can get. No question with the distance. He punches it all the way over the fence in the end. It was out to the right. That margin, 9 points. Cats with the first score. It's a minor one, a minute into the last.
So Holmes with the opening score of the final term. Aggressive from Freo, right up the middle. Pearce was able to get there to force the spoil off to Reid. Pearce tries to back up at ground level. Excellent work by Bruin, who was on hands and knees. Won it in the direction of Myers. Now off to Stewart. Looping hand pass over the top to Manor. Still left half forward. He kicks almost blindly in the end inside attacking 50, and Clark chimes in to take the mark. Good defensive mark there just to steady things for the Dockers. He goes very short. And out to right half back. Warner has it. He's looking towards the wing, and lovely mark there by O'Sullivan, just able to nudge his opponent out of things on that occasion. Now he can drive them long inside attacking 50. Dangerfield almost again. Sarong, lovely rove. Now Warner receives the hand pass, goes wider still to Johnson, who comes back inside a little. He's overcooked it, and O'Sullivan's there again. Short pass is good to Smith in the middle of Canidia Park.
He's between the front edge of the square and the centre circles. He backs all the way back to the circles and then runs up to right half forward. Drops the kick off to the top of the square. A good defensive mark from Erasmus floating across. That's an important intervention. Neil Erasmus, who's trying to cement his spot in this team. To McDonald's. Dockers have led by as many as 33 points in this ball game on a couple of occasions. Had it out as many as 35 late in that second quarter.
Not even 3 minutes into the quarter, Geelong 5 inside 50s.
Jackson now between the wing and half back for the Dockers. Pumps it up toward half forward. Edwards ran underneath it. Stewart was sitting out the back. He's going to flare the kick wide for Cameron, who pulls it in just in front of the interchange here for the Cats.
Looking for something inboard. He spots something he likes, and that something is Guthrie. Looping hand pass to Holmes, who gets to 52 off the outside of the right boot all the way to the goal line, and it's smashed through for a behind. It was good work in the end by Warner not to give away the front on free, and McDonald was working in tandem. It's one behind. Margin creeps closer, back to 8 points in favour of the Dockers.
Carl Warner with disposal number 17. Brings the footy back into play for Freo. McVee, first game in purple, to Sarong. Now to Reid, the rising star from last season. 4 goals here in 7 minutes on debut. Haven't seen that kind of X-factor from him today. Alex Pearce now, who's been operating ahead of the footy early in this final term. Joel Peterson, Andrew Mays, Boom Harvey and Cal Sinclair with you on ABC Sport. Sydney and Brisbane or Collingwood, Adelaide. Your choice of games tonight via ABC Listen. Jackson brings it down at half forward for the Dockers. Off to Bolton. Wobbles one inside to 50. Henry punches it down. Spills to Tracy. Now to Murphy Reid, who sized things up and missed to the right-hand side.
I thought Tracy should have just snapped that one. It was just an extra handball they didn't need and put Reid under pressure. You're a big forward. Go back, take responsibility and snap that one over your shoulder.
Dockers' lead is 9. 4.5 gone in this final term.
Liked it too, Murphy Reid. 1 goal, 3 for him this afternoon. Short kick comes the way of Holmes, who's been busy in this final term so far. It's 4.5 minutes old. He goes long, up towards the wing. Blitzarv's held front spot, and he was being held in the end and will receive the free kick. Take it at right half back. Has Cameron Short in front of the interchange. That's ignored. Humphreys makes a bit of space. He goes backwards further still. Mark taken by Henry at centre-half back. He goes to Humphreys, who ran laterally. Humphreys a little chip over the top, but it's good too, just shy of the wing to Guthrie. Guthrie turns and goes straight away to O'Sullivan, takes it in the sun, and then will load up inside attacking 50. Where are the Flyers? Neil's in the middle, couldn't get to it. Cameron was tracking back. Erasmus had it. He's taken off it. It ricochets out the way of Smith, who snaps and goes off the step. Bailey's got him back within 3. The opening goal of the final term. And there's a Cats tidal wave on its way. Or can the Dockers hold on?
Well, it certainly feels like that, doesn't it? That tidal wave. They're just taking a few more risks. They're moving the ball a lot better. Like, if you're probably Freo's defensive structure, you'd be a little bit disappointed in, I guess, how you were set up there. And you had plenty of time to stop that short kick mark game. But once again, just the front and centre work of Geelong there, they just had numbers. And Bailey Smith was just allowed a little bit too much time receiving that sort of quarterback position and put it through. But he's a class player and tends to step up at the right moment. But Boomer, it's key for Freo not to go into your shell.
That is the big key, and I think they're kicking down the line a little bit more than they have all game. So hopefully they can generate some speed on ball again.
Sarong explosive at the restart. Shares it by hand with Reid. Back to Sarong. Wobbly kick inside the 50, and Voss, like he was a gully, comes lunging forward. He sprawls to take the mark, pulls it to his chest. And Patrick Voss has got a set shot from just inside the arc out to the right.
Yet to kick a goal today, Patrick Voss. So understatement to say this is the most important kick of his day.
He's made quite an impression in Freo colours, so much so that in the off-season they ran a poll of the ultimate cult hero for Freo, and he came second in their club's history, only to Hayden Valentine.
Clive Waterhouse.
That's a big rap. Yeah, it's a disgrace that Clive wasn't up there. Anyway, Patrick Voss with the set shot. He left it out to the left, and it is a minor score. 4-point lead to Freo. So Clive got voted out in the round, the semi-finals.
Really?
He didn't even make the final.
Hayden Valentine, cult hero.
Nah, just bizarre. Clive Waterhouse would be the cult hero of the AFL. I could go for an hour on this. I'm going to hand it over to Macy.
Humphreys receives the 1-2 after kicking out. Big hit as well. He's pushed off his kick. Good hip and shoulder, didn't get him high at all. It's a turnover ball. Now Brayshaw has it. Spilt the mark. Tried to break the tackle. Couldn't do so. What a wonderful tackle by Clark to make it stick.
Great
Crucial win. Left half back goes very short to Myers. Is that 50? Yes, it is.
No, that's a bad call. That ball went about 12 metres then. They've been red hot on this in the opening round and round 1 to date.
So Myers kicks inside 50. What a lovely kick it is too. Martin was all out on his own in the right forward pocket. And he will have a shot from about 40 out. He's 10 metres inside the boundary, left forward pocket.
Are you talking about the actual decision or the kick before that?
Oh, the kick before that, and then Brayshaw obviously thought it wasn't 15, so...
Yep.
Martin kicks, and Martin goes, and would you believe it? The Cats are in front for the first time this afternoon. It's taken them 3 quarters and 8.5 minutes, but they lead by 2 points over the Dockers.
I don't know, Boomer, what do you think? You're Freo now, you've played a lot of good football today, and you've now been challenged by one of the best clubs in the AFL on the home deck. Still a fair bit of footy to be played. What's the message, particularly to your midfield group?
The message is to keep going forward. They played their best football today when they didn't go sideways. They weren't chipping the ball around. They'll get the forward support handball. They'll turning and they'll get the ball one-on-one. I don't know why they've gone away from it so much in that third term and the start of this fourth. They've got to get speed back on ball. They've got the players, Murphy, Sarong, Bolton, Jackson. They've got these guys that can do so.
Their highest opening quarter outside Victoria, their best first half in 10 years for the Dockers, and they find themselves behind in the final quarter. They get the clearance here. Jackson runs it wide. Handball up to half forward. Reid dispossessed. Holmes in to provide support. And Smith curls it away after receiving the hand pass from Edwards. Bouncing ball up the line. Skittles past Cameron. Walker's up to meet it. He's enveloped in a tackle of Cameron and Close. And this crowd, the locals, are rising into things now. They've had to wait patiently to see their side in front. Much longer than they'd expect at any point in recent seasons. Obliterated last week. They looked a sure thing to get beaten early today, and they have clawed their way back. Humphreys takes the intercept mark for Geelong after the clearance. Comes across to Henry. Now to Guthrie. He'll send it wide to Sheehan Mullen.
Mullen has it at left half back. Brayshaw almost gave away another 50.
Yeah, Brayshaw, I know it wasn't 15 before, and Brayshaw, he just didn't listen to the umpire properly. He should have come away straight away. He flirted with danger.
Back to centre half back to Henry, and now to Myers. And he goes wide to right half back to O'Connor, who fancies a little bit of a trot down the boundary line. Kicks towards the point of 50. No mark taken. Blitzarv's almost turned Rover in the end. Now a chance for Sarong. Got it away, and now Chapman back to Sarong. Blind kick. Voss is there. It's over his head. Mark taken by Henry, tracking back behind that contest.
They're set up really well and connected behind the ball, Geelong. The best they've done it all day.
Kicked an important goal early in the third term. Jack Henry's marshalling things down at the other end at the moment. Humphreys, who is just so hard to speed up, is Lawson Humphreys. Drops it out wide, left half back. Sheehan Mullen's got it again. Gets onto his left boot. Slides the kick down the line. He's got representation there. O'Sullivan did well to come back and meet the footy. Kicks inside the 50. Neil back with the flight, not paid. Close is there. Handball to Dempsey. On the line, he puts it through.
Umpire paid the mark, going back to Neil.
Right you are, Boomer. So Dempsey was right on the goal line. It is going to come all the way back to Shannon Neal. The mark paid belatedly. And what a swing moment this could be in the game. If Shannon Neal can't finish off here, he'll have an opportunity from 25 metres out. Slight angle left of centre. He has got 4 to his name. 3 of them have come since half-time.
No, he's had a good day. A lot of presence. He's worked hard. But it all doesn't mean much. These are the kicks and the tough ones that you've got to nail.
He's growing into things at such a rapid rate, Shannon Neal. Can he step up now in their time of need? He delivers! Neal's got a handful. And he's been a handful up front for the Dockers. They've had no answer to him here in this second half. 4 is 5 on the other side of half-time. And the Cats now out by 8. 16-10-106. The Dockers 14-14-98. We played 13 in the last. Cal Sinclair and Boomer Harvey on ABC Sport.
Probably a guy we haven't spoken about today to me is O'Sullivan. I think he's been actually really, really good today.
Yep.
Mate, not the biggest possession count in the ground, but when he's had it, been really composed and making some really good decisions.
So what answer have the Dockers got now? Who would have thought we were saying that at quarter time after they kicked 8 in the opening term? Reid, back to Darcy, back to Reid, slips the tackle, lost the footy though. He was tripped, Holmes was away. But he'll have to give it back to Reid in the middle. Reid, out wide to Warner, just sits for him. He can go inside 50 towards Young through his hands. Stewart's behind him. It's off his boot. This might be a lasso. It is. So it's coming back.
That kick by Wagner's got to be better again. It just goes over their head. You've got to put it in front of them. Let them do the work. Let them run into it. Put the pace on the ball themselves.
He's got another chance here, Wagner, as he goes long inside 50. Big fist that time from De Koning. Only as far as Reid, who tried to shrug the tackle. It's a wonderful tackle by Bruin. Wins a crucial contest. And they can relieve just a little bit of the pressure from half-back as he goes to Humphreys.
Fremantle were getting away with that in the first half, but they're going back into the tackler now, and Geelong are sticking their tackles and making it very, very hard for Fremantle.
Cats have kicked the last 4. They've kicked 10 of the last 13, 8 of 11 since half-time. This game has turned on its head. Brian Myers was screaming for it from Jeremy Cameron inside the defensive 50. Now he rolls around onto his right boot, measures the pass neatly for Clark. Clark into the centre. Bruin and Sarong. He split the difference. Sarong marked it. Bruin brought him to ground. Sarong's paid the mark. It all held up for a moment there. The locals held their breath. Deep entry here for the Dockers. Stewart's able to clean things up. Handball to De Koning, up against the boundary line. Gets his kick away. Darcy was run down by Dempsey and taken high. And big Sean Darcy will take it from left half forward. Cats by 8, trailed by 35 in the second quarter. We're halfway through the last.
Goes into the pocket. It favoured De Koning, who got a shove from behind and just muscled out of it. In the end, Voss takes the mark right on the boundary line.
That had nothing to do with strength. That was all just timing. That was brilliant by Voss. Just as he was just about to leave the ground, you just give him a little nudge. Perfect timing. It's a hard kick from here, though.
Will he go the snap? He starts his approach from the gutter. Looks like he might be going the drop punt. 35 out on the boundary, left forward pocket. Oh, what a kick! I think he's stuck it, and he has. Oh no, it's pulled it behind. Wow!
We had a great view of that. I'd be doing a.
We were right behind that.
Can you review that umpire,
That's a
please?
review, I reckon.
That's amazing. Unless he's deemed it's gone over the post, but goodness me, it looked a goal from here. One behind it is. Margin 7 points in favour of the Cats.
What's the rule there? Will they be looking at that upstairs right now, or no? It's just play on.
Ball's back in play. Half the problem is we don't really have the technology to determine what it was. So the umpire's call is as good as a good thing there. And the Cats are going to transition it back the other way. Mullen to Smith. Smith inside forward 50. McDonald leads the race for the footy for the Dockers. Atkins, hard-nosed as always, just puts his head over it and keeps his legs charging. And then he kicks short to Blitzar's 55 from home. Tom Atkins continues to will this team on. Blitzarves with a deep entry. Cameron sets himself. It's bashed up in the air at the top of the goal square for the Cats. McVie hooks it around the body. It'll spill back to Blitzarves. Handball over his head to Smith. Edge of the 50 for the Cats. Held off it. Free kick. Voss held him off it. Bailey Smith lets him know about it.
We did that well, Bailey Smith. There wasn't a huge amount in it, but he went to ground, threw the head back. Voss is very disappointed and very animated.
Patrick Voss has his heels on the 50 as he stands hunched over on the mark.
Now, you're big on this, Boomer. Are we once again going to have a shot on goal, or are we going to put it to the top of the square?
Well, Bailey Smith, I wouldn't have thought, has got the distance in him. So I'm one for putting everyone to sleep right now and just kicking short to someone. Fremantle are onto it, which is fantastic.
He will lay it off into the pocket. Clark was the target. Cameron was sauntering up to meet it as well. It's bashed over the boundary line for a throw in right forward pocket for the Cats, up by 7.
But that kick right there now goes out of bounds and gives Geelong another chance, rather than giving Fremantle the ball and possession. And like Geelong did in the second quarter, I think it was, transition the whole time.
Just seen a replay, but there's no way you could determine which way it is. Voss was celebrating. Ball, meanwhile, is back inside Geelong's attacking 50, and Freo win the day. On that occasion, Murphy Reid, lovely tackle, wins the free kick for holding the ball. He wants to get it moving quickly. Voss is there against De Koning, again used his strength. Voss, hand pass back into congestion though. Stewart's there, couldn't pick it up. Myers tries to get out of there. Not sure about the disposal. It fell the way of Cameron though, who can kick inside attacking 50. It's a high ball to space. The runners get there, or no mark taken. Well done by Erasmus, was cool in a crisis. Got it out wide to Chapman, who was looking for the outlet kick. It's Tracy who fought hard. He kept it in front of himself, Tracy. Oh, it's kept in too by Freo. A turnover ball. Banner gets to 45. He lays into it, but it's across the face. Doesn't even make the distance in the end. Warner takes the mark, has one bounce and gets it away to Clark by hand inside defensive 50.
Oh, Clark needs to use it well. Gee, it looked like he'd hit up Dempsey there. He just took enough off it for it to float to Sarong. Left half back for the Dockers, down by 7, led by 35 earlier in the game. Sarong kicks beautifully to Darcy, who marks centre wing. He's got Tracy all alone inside the 50, commanding the ball. He's got to run at it. He jumps. He can't reach up to grab it. Mullen's there for the Cats inside defensive 50. They just needed to go straight away, the Dockers. Stewart off the exiting kick. Warner runs it across.
So in the first half there, Darcy dishes that off to a runner. The runner gets it, kicks the ball out the back, and Tracy runs into an open goal. That was so slow and stagnant then.
Just make sure that we're calling the game, guys, not barracking.
That's into time on here in this final term. It's the Cats up by 7, 16-10 to the Dockers, 15-9. Joel Peterson, Andrew Mays, Kel Sinclair and Boomer Harvey as Sarong kicks inside the 50. Young had to go through his hand. Voss scoops it up in the pocket, dribbles it toward goal, and it's rushed through by O'Connor. It was missing anyway. Minor score, one kick game.
Handy point, Joel.
Time on in the last.
Handy point.
Couldn't have a draw this early, could we? O'Connor receives the kick in. It's very short to Mullen, who's looking for a way out. Nice dummy, gets around Tracy on the mark, then kicks beyond the wing. It's a one-on-one. Martin couldn't win it. Walker there, he's taken by Martin. Ball spills out the side. Bruin off to Holmes. Forward handball is good too to Atkins, who kicks inside 50. Mark taken by guess who? Neil's got it again. And he'll have to kick this one 55 from directly in front.
This is one man, Boomer, who has got the leg.
Yes.
Not much you can do as a defender there. Ball's coming in so hot. Double leaded quite well there, Neil, and just got enough separation, and it was an easy kick at the end of the day. But, yeah, tough work if you're a defender.
This to double the lead. It's one straight kick. He's got 5 for the afternoon. What about 6? Neil lays into it. It's way to the left. It's one behind, but maybe a handy one. 16-11, 107 the Cats. 14-16, 100 the Dockers. 21 gone final term.
Haven't kicked a goal in this last term, the Dockers. The 4 behinds to them. The Cats have kicked 3 goals. Turnover almost as Dangerfield applies some pressure. Chapman hands it off. Clark's exiting kick turned over. And Mullen will take it.
The disposals just dropped off in the second half significantly.
Mullen sends it back inside the forward 50. Looks for Neil. Sends it in that direction. Sarong there at their feet. Hands it off now to Wagner. Wagner exits for the Dockers. De Koning takes the mark on the outer side. Had it slapped out of his hands. He will get walked to the 50.
That's the maturity there, Boomer.
Yep.
That we spoke about at three-quarter time. Just to whack it out of the hands. You're already a goal behind. You're under a significant amount of pressure. But just to give Geelong another inch, like disappointed, like Justin Longmuir will be in the box, would just be absolutely fuming at that.
It was Patrick Voss who offended, and now Sam De Koning has walked inside the 50. The man on the mark stands 49 from home. He's only kicked the 7 goals in game 87 today. He struts in. It's away to the right. A rise almost. Dempsey pulled it in that right forward pocket. Manor. He's been terrific in the second half. He can't finish there. Cats by 8.
They're going to have to kick 2 goals now, the Fremantle Dockers, to win this game, it feels like. They've got to put some speed on the ball. They've just got to go now. They need their forwards set in place because they've had no one to kick to.
And Clark's turned it over. Off the kick in, the former Cat has put it straight down the throat of Sean Manor.
It's just the pressure, Boomer, isn't it? For a young team. Not really that young, but I guess they're just a little bit inexperienced in these sort of moments.
Up by 33 at quarter time. Up by 22 at half time. Up by 10 at three-quarter time.
What a great story for Geelong, just to grind their way back into this.
3 in the third quarter for Manor. From straight in front, he misses. A gilt-edged chance gone begging. 9 points the Cats' margin. The door remains ajar for Freo. 2 minutes to play in this game. We've only had the 3 goals kicked. Chapman drives it in from fullback. We'll give you some reaction from the winning rooms. We're just not sure which rooms in the post-match. Dempsey squeezes it back inside the forward 50 for the Cats. Sarong's there to meet it. Clark tries to flick the handball forward. Erasmus dumped in the tackle. Got the handball away. Still across half forward here for Geelong. Dempsey to Cameron, off a step from just inside the 50. It's swinging back violently. It's at another minor score. $10 points now Geelong's lead. They have kicked 3 goals 6 here in this final term to Fremantle's 4 behinds. The Dockers, it's thumped in by Clark. Bolton and Jackson keep it alive. And now Tracy in front of the interchange. Tried to take on the tackle. Got caught by Blitzarves, holding the ball. And Mark Blitzarves brings the Geelong crowd to their feet. He and Atkins combine for the tackle. Win the free kick back. Just over a minute to play. The Cats up 10 and they've got it on the wing. Bailey Smith waits for it to unfold. Thumps it as far as he can. Neal from the back. Fisted down toward Dempsey. And a ball in for a throw in at the junction of the 50 in the boundary. The Cats into attack. They trailed by 33 at quarter time. They trailed by 35 toward the end of the second term. And now that Geelong chant rings out around Canidia Park. They were shell-shocked early, put back into their seats, the locals. They, along with their team, have risen mightily here in this second half as Walker wins a free kick and he gets up limping. Hopefully that's only cramp for Brandon Walker.
Oh, that's just, no, it's just, I don't know what to say about that, Bremer. It's just like you're just kicking and hoping. Drive your legs. I don't know, make a smarter decision than that.
Yeah, and even go through, you got less than a minute, go corridor, switch the other side of the ground.
Lose.
Think back to the elimination final. Freo gave up 45 points in that third term to the Gold Coast. Gold Coast scored 79 for the game. They end up to lose that final. It's been these little things, the attention to detail, the consistency that Justin Longmuir has spoken about in the pre-season being the difference for Freo. And it is what is going to come back to haunt them in the second half here. Dangerfield's got it 55 out. Measures the kick to the pocket. Clark's the target. It's fisted away from him. And the Cats claw their way back to a stirring victory to get on the board in 2026. Thumped last week. They respond in that familiar way and win it by 10.
We are Geelong, we're always on the ball. We play the game as it should be played, at home or far away. Our banners fly high from dawn to dark, down at Gardenia Park.
They trailed by 33 points at the end of the opening term. It was Freo's best first quarter away from Western Australia in their history. Their best first half in 10 years. The Cats trailed by 22 at the half. They kick 8 goals to 3 after half-time. 10 of the last 13 in the game to close with a flurry and win 16-14, 110 to 14-16, 100.
It's always our ambition throughout the game to fight with all our might, because we're the mighty blue and white. And when the ball is bounced to the final bell, stand up and fight like hell.
They trailed last week by 85 points late in the third term. They trailed this week by 35 late in the second. A 20-point turnaround in the last quarter. They hold Fremantle goalless in that final term and win it going away in the end, the Cats. 5 goals for Shannon Neal. He was the spearhead up front for them today, and 4 of them came this side of half-time. 3 goals, 4 to Jeremy Cameron, 3 goals, 2 to Sean Manor. All 3 of his came in the third term. Martin, Clark, Smith, Henry and Dangerfield all with singles. Isaiah Dudley kicked 3 goals, 2 for the Dockers. Tracy 2 and Bolton 2. Singles to Reid, who kicked 1 goal, 3. Sarong, Brayshaw, Young, Amos, Jackson and O'Driscoll. It was an enthralling game of footy, played at an absolutely breakneck speed. It was all Freo in the first half. It was all Geelong in the second. And they emerged too good by 10 points to square the ledger and resign Freo to a loss in their opening game of the season. Andrew Mays will head down into the Geelong rooms very shortly to get some reaction. We're with you for about another 20 minutes before we send most of our audience to Collingwood and Adelaide, where there are no late changes. Sydney and Brisbane, the other game tonight on ABC. Listen if you're that way inclined. Cal Sinclair and Boomer Harvey. That was quite the way to start this campaign here at Geelong.
I'll tell you what, if Geelong, what an effort. Just to grind your way back from really, Boom, what a disappointing first quarter and start to the game they had. We thought it was going to be a repeat of their efforts against Gold Coast last week, but I tell you what, it's just a sign of a strong football club, still a list that believes in themselves. I know we're probably getting a bit carried away that it's round one, but that's an amazing fight back considering the way they started. And I tell you what, if you're a Fremantle, there's a lot of positives that you can take out of that game with the way you played, their entries inside 50, their presence up forward, like their young, I guess, small forwards at ground level were terrific. Luke Jackson was outstanding, but as a team, Brim, I'm really curious on your thoughts here. It just showed their maturity and their lack of discipline towards the back end of that, I guess, last 10 minutes of that game. Brett Voss's one on that far wing, just giving away that 50, those little moments. I don't know. I think it's going to be a very, very long trip back to Perth for Fremantle, and I think if you're Justin Longmuir, you'd be absolutely fuming. You coughed that one up.
Yeah,
absolutely fuming.
You would be, and you spoke about the start. 8 goals in the first quarter. We did question that at quarter time. Can they last the distance? Can they go the full 10 rounds, or in this case, 4 quarters? And unfortunately for Fremantle, they couldn't. I don't know, it was a taxing brand of football that they played in the first half. Because I don't see Geelong doing anything outstanding to get themselves back in the game. You used the word grind just then when you started speaking, and that's exactly what it was. They just grind the opposition into playing silly football, and Fremantle went away for some reason, and it might have been because Geelong was so good in the second half from what they did in the first half. You know, they had the one-on-ones. They got so many good inside 50s. Geelong had 20 inside 50s in that last quarter.
Crazy. 20
inside 50s in that last quarter to end up on 60 to Fremantle's 46. In the first quarter, 16 inside 50s for Fremantle. So they only had 30 for the next 3 quarters.
And they're getting a lot of repeats. Defensively, Geelong was set up it was the best they set up all day in that last 15 minutes of that quarter. But I don't know. I'd just be curious to know what Justin Longmuir's kind of message to the team is after that. Do you go in with the spray and just go, boys, it's not good enough?
It is everything
consistent.
Everything that he has spoken about in the pre-season. So everything that he has spoken about has been around consistency.
He's aware of it, obviously, yeah.
So they haven't shied away from the expectations, this Fremantle group. He said during the week at his press conference, we've got big expectations of ourselves. He told Nathan Schmuck recently that absolutely he thinks they can sort of go toward a grand final and that they've made the difference. And that consistency, that attention to detail has been the biggest focus of their pre-season. And then they roll out here in round one. And yes, it's only round one, and they played a team that played last week and all that kind of thing. But immediately, if you had the question of doubt of could I trust Freo this year, when you haven't been able to trust them in the past, round one, you go, oh, maybe not.
I'd be saying to them, boys, let that one absolutely sting. Don't forget about that loss, because it's either going to be an absolute defining moment for our season. I know we're talking a bit over the top here, but for them to take real steps this year, to have that lead and have that such impressive play in that first half, to cough that up and lose it like that, it just felt like they just literally, their work rate just completely stopped in that last quarter. There was no run through the middle of the ground. Maybe Geelong were a bit more switched on and set up a lot better, but I just think game of 2 here. Geelong, wow, very, very impressive. Couldn't, I guess, question your character in any way, shape or form. You were outstanding getting your way back into that game. But, Boomer, you articulated perfectly. They didn't do anything special to bring it back in. So, but Luke Jackson, for me, I just thought once again he's outstanding. That if he wasn't out there in that out there for them in that second half, who knows what the score would have been.
He's had 27 touches, Luke Jackson.
18 contested.
19 handballs.
How many clearances did he have? So he had 10 clearances in the end. So he's had the most disposals for Freo, 10 clearances, the most on the ground with Tom Atkins.
Kicked the goal.
Is that sustainable, Boomer? For the way that they're going to play him for, I guess, hopefully his health has to get through the whole season. But is that way he's playing as a midfielder sustainable, do you think?
Oh, I don't think he can play ruck and then go into the midfield and then go forward. He's going to need bigger spells on the bench if that's the case. They've got 5 on the interchange now, so you can maybe get away with it for a little while. I would like to think he goes from the ruck to forward. I like him forward because he runs and jumps at the ball as good as anyone in the competition. He's a good set shot on goal, so it's good to have that big-bodied midfield like most teams have got probably one. and Fremantle's midfielders are probably a little bit smaller in Sarong and Brayshaw. You got Young, who's a bigger body, but I don't think it's sustainable for 23 weeks. No.
God, no.
Bye next for the Cats, then they've got the Crows, the Hawks and the Eagles for Freo. They've got Melbourne at home next week, then Richmond, then they're at Adelaide and they play Collingwood in gather round.
That Fremantle?
Yes.
Yeah, they'll beat up on some average teams this year. Fremantle will really beat up on them, especially at home. Coming to Melbourne and ticking off a few wins is their biggest concern. If they can do that, we know where the grand finals played at, and they've got to be good enough to come here and win at the MCG. So today I thought they were fantastic, Geely, and just got away from what they were about in the end.
They played some scintillating football in that first half, no doubt about that. The Fremantle Dockers, they kicked 8 goals in the opening term, and in the end, they can't get it done. Led by 33 points at quarter time, 22 at the half, by 10 at three-quarter time. The Cats close the stronger and win by 10. 16-14, 110 to Freo, 14-16, 100. Of course, Brisbane, Sydney still to come tonight. Collingwood and Adelaide at the MCG here on ABC Sport. For now, though, let's go and soak up some of the reaction in the Cats' rooms with Andrew Mays. And, Maysy, that was a pretty vintage Geelong win.
Sure was, but talk about a mark of an experienced club, a club that is absolutely assured in what they're doing. The coaching staff came in, sat round as if it was a loss and just chewed the fat for about 2 minutes. The players have come in. They're a bit more up and about, very much enjoying their time. And nice to see Edwards in the middle here. He's a big boy as well. And Jack Martin's bringing a couple of kids along for the ride. There's a few kids on the outside. I think one might belong to Mark Blitzarves, but they're all pretty happy. And there's no Gatorade shower at the moment, but it's on hold. Here's the song.
Hey, we are Geelong. We're always on the ball. We play the game as it should be played. Hey, at home or far away. Our guys flying high from dawn to dusk. And in our park.
So a pretty satisfied Geelong outfit. Joel, hopefully we'll catch up with one of the key players in just a moment or two. The team's going to go in for a quick chat with Chris Scott, and we'll have him afterwards.
Good stuff, Maisie. Thank you. It's a really good observation too in the sense that we talk about the maturity of that Fremantle team contrasted with the maturity of the Geelong team, a team that has been through the battles, knows what it's about in those moments, and this Freo team that's still kind of finding their way in that regard.
A lot of young players actually still in the Geelong side as well. So there's actually, guys like Neil and Dempsey have still got a fair bit of footy left in their careers. So it'd be interesting to actually do the assessment of the age profile there compared to both teams. But like I said, and what a sight it is to see old school football, all the kids running around post game. It's incredible.
Oh, you say that, John. I look at Fremantle's team and you go through it, and you've got Brayshaw, who I would think from afar, and I don't know these guys, but would be a good leader.
Yep.
Sarong.
Yep.
Would be a fantastic leader. You'd think Jackson.
Yep.
Would be a good leader. You got the captain, Pearce.
Yep.
Down there. You
Tracy.
got Tracy now, who's a big presence up forward. You got Bolton, who's no longer a younger Richmond player. He's been established for a few years now, and he's there for the second time. I think they've got some Jordan Clark. They've got some really good some leaders that you'd think from afar. So that's when you've got a handful of them that can look at each other and go, rightio, this is not happening in this second half, and will your team over the line. It's not one or two of them. We've just named maybe 6 there, maybe 7.
There's not a lot of finals experience in that group.
Yeah.
So I guess when you play, when you get into those big moments and you play an experienced outfit like Geelong, they've been around those moments and they actually understand it. But I guess, Bremer, you're probably a great person to ask. You have to kind of go through this, and you hope it's an amazing learning curve for them. But it doesn't take away when they're on. I'll tell you what, they're awesome to watch.
Absolutely.
They're a very exciting team to watch, and the polish of them going inside 50 in that first quarter, I'll tell you what, I'd love to be Tracy and the guys up there. It was good.
Well, that's my notes. In the first quarter, they had speed on the ball. They got the ball from inside to outside, which I've mentioned a couple of times. And in the second half, that they were little handballs. They were 30-centimetre handballs where a Geelong player would tackle and then get a double tackle, and they just weren't clearing the ball from the stoppage. And I thought that was their strength, their leg speed in the first half, and it looked like Geelong reversed the whole thing in the second half.
And the game is increasingly becoming a ball movement game, and how efficiently and effectively can you move the ball. Freo end up plus 14 in clearances today, And aside from the first quarter and part of the second, again, it was more of what we saw from them last year, where they got hemmed in, they got slowed down, and when they couldn't get that speed on the ball, as most teams are, but particularly with Freo, there's a real contrast between when they've got speed on the footy and they're moving it quickly versus when they don't, and then all of a sudden it turns into, okay, where do we go now?
Well, we've seen so many times. How many times did they play boundary football and down the line in the first half? You could count them on one hand.
Yep.
And in the second half, Cal, I kept looking over at you and you're shaking your head because the ball was coming in one way and just coming down the same way, and Geelong were picking them off. You spoke about how sound Geelong looked defensively, and it was because of Fremantle's ball movement. They just kept kicking